The football talk show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
The G-Man.
Sonley, Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitch talk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website, www.pitch-talk.com.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan.
Dave McLaughlin.
I'm Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former chairman of Ibis FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk.
The only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Hi, I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez. My name is Christian Carambeu.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
I'm Rob Lusher, former chairman of Ibis FC.
I'm Sonley, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening
to Pitch Talk.
Hello, everybody. We would like to say that we are live with your Monday night footballing fix. We are live as live can be. I'm not going to prove how live. Anyway, no, I'm not going to prove how live. But, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting LJA, the G-Man and Jazzy Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions. Because the pitch is where we eat. The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
Dope.
Yes, we also talk.
We talk.
Pitch talk.
We talk. We laugh. We chat. We have fun. And I don't know where I'm going with this. So where I will go with it is this. www.pitch-talk.com is the official website. Find out about everything Pitch Talk on our official website, www.pitch-talk.com. Also, facebook.com/Pitch Talk. Become a fan, become a friend, become a member of the group. Join the footballing revolution. We are working so hard to create. pitchtalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk will get you to the blogs. Blogs by yours truly, straight shooting LJA, the G-Man, Jazzy Fizzle, and many, many others, including Dave Meir, aka at Mercy, with his Word of a Ref, and also his Airtricity League roundups as well. Also, many other bloggers have come and stopped by with their opinions as well. Gotta love it. Big shouts to all of the PT bloggers. We'd be here all night if we were mentioning them all, but we've still got a good few. But, also, youtube.com/Pitch Talk. That's where you find our latest videos. the PT Meet Series along with the Cup Finals. You could also find, I don't know why I'm singing already, but yeah, anyway, leaving that aside, moving along swiftly. YouTube.com/Pitch Talk is where you can find all of our latest videos, including Pitch Talk on the road at Hackney Wick FC and also Pitch Talk at the Women's FA Cup Final 2015 as well. So on them ones, we've been doing a little bit of filming with Ibis FC and BB Eagles as well. All will be revealed on that over the coming months. So we've got quite a lot of stuff. But it is, yeah, I like that one. But you know, it is one of them ones. Also, twitter.com/Pitch Talk or at Pitch Talk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we are up to. Also, 07535804466 is the mobile number. 07535804466. Call us, text us, let us know your views. If you text us, then leave your name at the end of the text so we can shout you out. We would like to shout you out. Now, also, Pitch Talk 1. We are on Skype. Pitch Talk 1. Feel free to add us. Join the live Skype call that we have every single week during the shows. Also, we are on Google Plus. Pitch Talk Live on Google Plus as well. We're also on Instagram at Pitch Talk on Instagram too. So we taking over, taking over, daddy. He is one of them was we taking over, but that's what it's all about. Remember, we need your assistance as well. All of the silent listeners, all of those regular listeners, all of those not so regular listeners, if you're tweeting with us, if you're Facebooking with us, we do need your support because obviously we podcast on iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Spreaker, and TuneIn Radio as well. Give us a rating. Give us a star, a few stars, whatever the case may be. It is one of them was give us a rating, give us a subscribe, and spread the word as well. Speaking of spreading the word, West Ham United are 1-0 up against Newcastle. Dimitri Payet on 9 minutes has scored. About 10 minutes have been played in that match. So for what we're seeing, Dimitri Payet has scored in the Premier League so far. Now, I would like to say that you stick your chin in DX's business again. I'm going to have to take a swig by your house. And I'm going to have to ask Jazzy Fizzle and the G-Man how their week and weekends have been.
Week and weekend's been great, man. I have to say big thank you to absolutely everybody at work. You guys have been amazing. Big thank you to everybody that I met today. Special thank you to Laura. Real shame that you ended up getting transferred. But, you know, it was wonderful to have met you. Yeah, and I wish you nothing but the best in the future. But I will say this, right? Even though we will come on to the big result that really put a massive smile on my face as of Saturday afternoon, you know how I know that my week and weekend has been good? Not just because, you know, I still happen to have a lot of love in my heart for my ex-wife, my ex-life. Thank you so much, baby. Not just because I have a lot of love in my heart for my next wife. Love you, baby. Not just because, you know, I have a lot of love for my future kids, or, you know, the fact that I love the PT family, the frenemies, my enemies, you know, everybody that supports me, everybody that hates me. But because, you know, I happen to log into Skype and a certain Mr. Ryan Sonley, he decides to send us a message and he's like, "You're right, Jazzy." That right there made the week and weekend on top of everything else.
You know what? That is tremendous. And you know, we had to just lay out the music just for that monologue that time.
Yeah. So extra special shout outs to a couple people, namely my good friend Cherry. She's locked on over there in Florida. Of course, our good friends Danina and Gurav over in Canada. And an extra special shout out to the one and only proprietor of JE Entertainment and Promotions, Miss Jennifer Evans. How are you doing?
I love it. Oh, you know what? It is one of them ones where, you know what? After Jazzy's little monologue, it has to be one of them ones where you know what's coming next. You know what's coming next.
This girl sent me this picture of a little baby. And it was in a town that I had never been in before. And she sent me this picture. She said, "This is your baby." And the baby looked like a pigeon with a spiked hairdo. I swear to God. I told her that ain't my baby.
And after Jezzy's exploits that we can't mention on air, it's like, yeah, maybe there might be one of those moments.
Exploit. My goodness, man. Exploits.
No, I'm only kidding. Just painted you as such a wrong. Oh,
no,
Lord.
we talk about certain people taking out a shovel trying to bury us. Good gravy. That's like taking a dumper truck.
Do I look? Wait. I was gonna say, do I look like Triple H? But taking a dump truck full of dirt, do I look like? Does this look like 1998 all over again? Is this December '98? Is this?
I'm saying it's beginning to feel like it.
Is this the pay-per-view named after The Rock? Come on.
Exploits indeed.
At least I didn't say dalliances. Good gravy. That would have been worse.
Well, really what I should have said was indeed. And if you got that,
it's terrible. Oh, with the dodgy lip syncing and everything. You know what? Yeah, we do have to say a big welcome back. Almost kind of like almost like a mace.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
I almost feel like instead of you singing it, you might as well just cue up the thing.
No. Do you know what theme we do have to cue up? G-Man is back on PET.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks, guys. It's only 2 weeks. You know, we had a little break during Carnival. Didn't turn up last week.
I was gonna say, where's the dalliances at Carnival?
So lucky for some, yourself, you managed to go. Didn't even show up to what I thought was a rained off Carnival, but yeah, we're talking about last week, which doesn't sound half as good as what Dizzy Fizzle had, you know. But it was a good weekend. Spent some time with the familam. Big shout out to my little sister. She won't be listening, but you know, she heard about the exploits that well, not Jezzy's exploits, but she heard about the exploits that might be happening.
What's all this about my exploits, man? Goodness.
Considering some of the juicy results that happened over the weekend, but all in all, I gotta say, keep it short and snappy. It was a good weekend, footballing wise, and it's just great to be back, hearing your voices and that. And yeah, on with a good show.
Oh Lord, Jezzy's just had more dirt piled on him.
This is what I'm saying. This isn't even a burial anymore. This is getting ridiculous.
I thought
it's like you're building a small hill on top of the grave.
It's like this is not getting redonkulous, Jezzy. It's getting re-badonkadonkulous, ain't it? Because that's what
something like that.
His exploits. Oh my.
I'm telling you, it's getting so redonkulous. It's gonna need its own area code.
Oh my word. It's gonna need its own area code. It's gonna need to beep when it backs up. Anyway. Big shout outs to the Skypers that we've got with us. Ryan Sonley, Russ Vernon, Mike Harniman, and Brad Hicks as well. Oh Lord. Also a big shout out to Gianluca Lea, who will hopefully be joining us later on in the show. Big shout outs to Motivate Sports and Fitness, also Girls on the Ball, and also Hackney Wick FC, who we have some news on a bit later as well. And also big time shout outs to Ibis FC and BB Eagles, who are now officially the Ibis Eagles AFC. Ibis Eagles AFC. We'll have more about that in the grassroots segment as well. So it is one of them. It was a good weekend. I will get into that. So all good.
Yes, we'll hear about those dalliances and those exploits instead.
Hey, ain't no dalliances, ain't no exploits there. Although, you know what? Yeah, one person who G-Man knows as well is on there. Was big shout outs to Fuad, whose birthday was today, and a big shout out to Ahmed as well. Ahmed is wronging on the night out. He is hilarious on the night out. Oh Lord, you want to talk about exploits? Good Lord, I'm not gonna say any more than that, because that will be true burial. Oh Lord, but yeah, it is one of them ones where we also say a big shout out to Thin White Line magazine as well. But here's one of them ones where we go into the very first segment of the show, which just so happens to be results and analysis. It's results and analyses. It's results and analyses. Analyses. Yes, you're leaving it as that one. Anyway. Leaving that one aside. Don't know why I'm speaking like that for. It's just like relief and breathe and pause and turn and dance, baby, dance. Tuesday, 8th of September 2015. I am not off my rocker. I guarantee you that one. Better,
I don't think you were ever on it, to be fair.
Yeah, good point. You can't be on it. You can't be off it if you were never on it. Wait. Yeah. No, I'm staying with that line. I'm staying. Yes, I'm staying with that line because
welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm staying with that line because there legitimately is nowhere else to go with that line. Unless we're talking about the Yeti. No, I'm kidding. I just had a little bit of a flashback.
We hope you're enjoying the show.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of a flashback. Don't know why. Just had the weirdest flashback to this. And the Yeti. Flashback to I don't know why. It's just like I'm sorry. I don't even know. It was just like what in the hell is going on? And who is on whose side?
You are seeing the end of Hulk Hogan. It was a good career. You had a great run, but it's over. It is over.
The Yeti is taller than a giant. Look at the size of the Yeti.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know why. Yeah. Anyway,
did we say this is results and analysis? Right?
Yeah, I did.
Are we gonna go and start from I don't know?
Yeah,
internationals or something.
Well,
Yeti out of it.
Well, you got to bear in mind that the result was the Yeti is taller than the giant. Look at the size of the Yeti. That's the result. We're done. Segment over. We're moving on. Believe you me, this is not the planned part of the show. Tuesday, 8th of September 2015, UEFA European Championship qualifying Group C. And if this was the planned stuff of the show, then yeah, I'd be kind of concerned. Belarus 2, Luxembourg 0. Gordichuk scoring on 34 and 62 minutes. Macedonia 0, Spain 1. Pakowski scoring an own goal on 8 minutes, the only goal of the game.
Slovakia 0, Ukraine 0. Qualifying Group E, England 2, Switzerland 0. Harry Kane opening the score on 67 minutes, sorry. And Wayne Rooney scoring a penalty on 84 minutes to become the new record holder. So it's a case of the winners of this match with a new record holder in their side. England, featuring Wayne Rooney. Lithuania 2, San Marino 1. Cernic scoring on 7 minutes. Arlauskis sent off on 50 minutes. Vitaoli scoring on 55 minutes to equalize for San Marino. Quite a significant goal there. 88 minutes. Chiaruzzi scoring on 88. Getting sent off on 88 minutes, sorry. After a second bookable. And Splavis scoring on 90+2. Slovenia 1, Estonia 0. Beric scoring on 63 minutes. Qualifying Group G, Liechtenstein 0, Russia 7. I'm not lying to you on that one. Zubia scoring on 21 minutes. Scored again on 45. Scored again on 73. Scored again on 90. Jakoev scored on 85 minutes. Smolov scored on 77. Kokoran scored a penalty on 40 minutes. And Kaufman was sent off on 4 minutes. And Gav thinks he's funny about George Weah. This one thinks he's funny. I don't think that's getting past me. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. There was I cannot remember who it was. Who was the Premier League player who's like George Weah's nephew or something? I can't never remember who it is. Christopher Ray. There we go. Yeah, Christopher Ray. Yeah, that's why I thought I'd bring him up.
But what I'm saying is, for any of those that got Liam on WhatsApp, and when you're looking at the picture in its normal form, you haven't got it blowing up. Look, I thought it was George Weah. I thought you had George Weah in an old AC Milan kit. And I was thinking,
stop it.
It's the BB Eagles kit, damn it. It's the BB Eagles kit. But anyway, Moldova 0, Montes Negro 2. Savic opening the scoring on 9 minutes and Raku scoring an own goal on 65 minutes. Nice, Raku. Anyway, no, sorry, I couldn't help that one. Sweden 1, Austria 4. Someone out there is thinking, what the hell does he mean by nice Raku? Nice rack, you. Anyway. Sweden 1, Austria 4. Alaba scored a penalty on 9 minutes. Harnick scored on 38 minutes, scored again on 88 minutes. Janko scored on 76 minutes. And Zlatan, daring to Zlatan, scoring on 91 minutes. Excuse me. Moving on to Wednesday, 9th of September 2015. We are going to start with Colombia 1, Peru 1. Baka scoring on 37 minutes and Farfan scoring a penalty on 89 minutes. USA 1, Brazil 4. Hulk on 9 minutes. Neymar scoring a penalty on 51. Had another goal on 64 minutes and Neymar scored on 67 minutes as well. Excuse me. Williams scored on 91 minutes. A quality goal. I mean, when I tell you, it is a goal of the week contender from Williams in the USA-Brazil friendly. Costa Rica 1, Uruguay 0. Brian Ruiz with the only goal of the game on 8 minutes for Costa Rica. Mexico 2, Argentina 2. Hernandez scoring a penalty on 19 minutes. Herrera scoring on 70. But Aguero and Messi on 85 and 89 minutes respectively, rescuing the game for Argentina. Shifting on Thursday, 10th of September 2015, Man City women 2, Liverpool ladies 0. That's in the FA Women's Super League, and in FA WSL 2, Doncaster Rovers Bells 3, Everton ladies 3. For more updates on the FA WSL, remember at Girls on the Ball on Twitter and facebook.com/Girls on the Ball. Big ups to Sophie and Rachel getting out and about and catching those games. They write blogs
about women's football, and they are the women's football aficionados. It is one of them ones. If you want to know anything about women's football, at Girls on the Ball, facebook.com/Girls on the Ball, and also www.girlsontheball.com. There is also a Pitch Talk Meets with Sophie and Rachel of Girls on the Ball on YouTube as well, talking women's football and a hell of a lot more. So get to know Sophie and Rachel via Pitch Talk Meets Girls on the Ball. Anyone jumping in on the internationals before we move back to league action?
Hey, don't forget, right? There was me talking to Sophie and Rachel.
Of course.
In Pitch Talk at the Women's FA Cup final, as sponsored by SSE Energy, man. Like,
exactly.
What's up?
I was gonna let you mention that. Remember, we're the team. We're the trifecta. We're the 1, 2, 3, not just the one. It's one for all and 3 for one. And ooh, yeah, dig it, yeah.
Unless it's your grave. Anyway, going back to the internationals, congratulations to Mr. Wayne Rooney. I know a lot of people are kind of like, like that's literally the official response.
Well, we did discuss it at length last week, so it's kind of congratulations and let's move on.
For a lot of people, but you know what? For me, it's like, listen, any player that does that, becoming the top scorer for their country, or the most capped player for their country, congratulations, right? I know that haters want to hate, but my thing is this.
Lovers wanna love, I don't even want none of the above. I want to score against you. Yes, I do. I'll score some goals. See, you thought I know you thought I was going somewhere else with that.
No. I just have to
Chappelle
congratulate you on that because that was tremendous.
I was gonna say though, congrats to every top scorer. Gibraltar's top goal scorer has 2 goals. I'd just like to say that as well. So, and he actually plays in the Sky Bet Football League. Jake Gosling, that's it. So it's one of them ones. Just wanted to say that. Just wanted to add that in. Another goal scoring record breaker. But Jesse,
yeah, overall, again, I have to say well done to England because at the same time, right, they're doing what they need to do. It might not be in the way and the style and the fashion that everybody may want them to do, but they're getting it done. It's as simple as that. They're getting it done.
Eye, head. What does everybody want? Anyway, sorry, Jesse.
What does everybody need?
And what does everybody love?
See, team. Yeah, so overall, I'd say congratulations. I have to say Brazil, USA, again, for me, looked like a fantastic game. And, you know, it is what it is in terms of that particular game. You know, I think it goes to show that the USA are improving. For me, I think overall, though, you know, you go and I look at that Brazil squad. I look at the squad. I look at the players selected and I say, is it enough for a major tournament? And right now, I don't know if it's a selection issue. I don't know if it's a quality issue, but they don't look like they have enough for me, right? I mean, if we go back to what, 98, 2002, even 2006, I'd say those squads are better than this current squad. For Brazil.
I'll go with that. The Sam, I actually kind of felt a little sorry for San Marino, by the way, because it was one of them was San Marino's goal was a quality finish, goal of the week contender from a free kick, and it was like, oh my god, they're actually going to get a point and score as well, and it's like, oh, but no, the defense crumbled at the last minute. And it's like curveball right home and strike one. So you're going from potentially team of the week to flop of the week in the space of 2 minutes. But there are certain other teams who did that too. But it is one of them ones. It was an interesting week in the internationals. I mean, G-Man, you jumping in before we throw out to the Skypers?
Yeah, I know you spoke about it last week, but I just want to send not one of my favorite players or one of the players I like that much. But I've got to give him a big shout out, and that's to Man United and formerly of Everton's Wayne Rooney for his goal scoring record. And the way I see it, basically, is like, you know, he holds the record. He has 50 goals, and people say, well, he's only scored against easy teams. Well, you got think about it this way: if he scored against the team that you wanted him to score past, as well as he would have been even more clear. So he's got a legitimate goal scoring record, you know. So for him, big shout out to him. You know, it's everybody's dream. And who's played football, wanted to play football. You know, you want to play for your country and score the most goals. If you're a striker, that's the aim of the game, regardless of who you play against and score against. But no, again, big shout out to England as well. You know, sealed their qualification. Again, yep, they're playing easy teams, and the harder matches will come. But you know, you can only beat who are in front of you. I want to send another big shout to Scotland, because I watched the game and I know they picked up some flack against them for a poor result in the match previous to the game against Germany. But the way they came out against Germany and showed heart, you know, they showed that they can really play some ball. And under Gordon Strachan, in a few matches that I have seen, it looks like Scotland could be on the way to forming their own sort of golden generation if they can, you know, keep the core set of lads together. But not only that, you know, just show the same sort of passion and drive that they showed against Germany, because against any other team, they potentially would have won that match.
Do you feel that? Would you say it's the same for Wales as well then? Because I've heard exactly what you've just said applied to Wales, considering they're on the verge of qualification.
Well, Wales definitely so. But the difference between Scotland and Wales is Wales legitimately have a couple of, well, they have a world-class player, you know, and they've got a couple of they've got quite a few solid players as well, and Ashley Williams, Aaron Ramsey, you know, set alone, just those two alongside with Bell, you know, that is a good little triplets of players that you know, that's running through the center of the team basically. You could have Bell up front, you've got Ramsey in midfield, and you've got Williams at the back. So they're in good stead, Wales, and hopefully they can qualify and not fluff their lines.
I mean, are any of the Skypers joining in, jumping in on the internationals? Ryan Sonley, you wanted to jump in?
Yeah, well, I'd like to say congratulations to Rooney getting his 50th goal, even though it was against another easy team and it was from the penalty spot. But a goal's a goal at the end of the day. I mean, well done for him scoring 50 goals for your country. And I'd like to say a big congratulations to Jake Gosling on scoring 2 goals for Gibraltar. I mean, it's not big, but it's big for Gibraltar. I mean, they're only a small nation, and I mean, they deserve every goal that they've scored. I mean, Jake Gosling is a pretty useful player. I mean, he's ex-Argyle youth and plays for Bristol Rovers, and we play against him on Saturday, and it's going to be a tough one.
Funnily enough, he was actually on the bench this week as well. scores a big goal in midweek, and it gets dropped to the bench. Is that, yeah, cool. But
he was actually rested because obviously.
Oh yeah, the travel exertions and all that.
Yeah,
it was just quite.
You don't want to have him jet lagged or anything.
Yeah, which is kind of. I mean, are any of the other Skypers wanted to jump in on some of the other results? Mike Harniman, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I'll take the England game really. I think that was a really good performance. You know, it wasn't as easy as people expected it to be on the back of, you know, previous results and so on. But I think Rooney done well to get himself his 50th goal. Obviously, it's from the penalty spot, and like was kind of mentioned on the show last week, I think it's a bit underwhelming that it was from the penalty spot in my eyes. But that's just my personal opinion. And, you know, that's just my view on that. But I think it's still good for him to get his 50th goal. And it's good to see Harry Kane up and running as well. Obviously, he's a Spurs player. But I think the last 2 internationals, he's looked pretty lively as well. So that's real promise for England at the moment.
No, definitely. I mean, it's a case of, yeah, Harry Kane doing it at international levels, what he's not been doing at club level recently. But then we're still 5 games into the season. so early. So it's like okay, people talking about goal scoring droughts. Yeah, okay. But no, it is good. It is good to see Kane getting kind of up and running. But let's not put the weight of the world on his shoulders yet.
Oh no, we can't be doing that. Like we've done too much of that with players coming through like Jack Wilshere and players along those lines. Even Rooney to a certain extent when he was coming through as well. So we can't really be doing that for exactly. So we can't really be doing that on Harry Kane, but it's just another option to have up there as well. Obviously, Jamie Vardy looked quite lively as well. I thought as a striker in that game, and John Joe Shelby had a good game again as well.
I mean, Russ Vernon, you wanted to jump in as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I just want to say big congratulations to Wayne Rooney and Liam for breaking Bobby Charlton's record, and I agree with David Beckham. He can go on to get more than 50 goals in the game for England, I think.
Well, the fact is he's got years to do it, so it's one of them ones. It's not going to be that hard to feat. If he only had like one game left, or that was his last game, or he's got his last game coming up, then you'd say it was a bit more difficult. But it's one of them was. Good evening, Tom Wood as well. Was just joining us on Skype. But yeah, I mean, it's one of them ones. Always throw up a little bit of intrigue. Speaking of intrigue, Friday 11th of September 2015, Sky Bet Championship, Reading 5, Ipswich 1, Orlando Sarr scoring a hat-trick, 7, 14 and 63 minutes. Ollie Norwood scoring on 87, Nick Blackman scoring on 49 minutes, and Freddie Sears scoring on 11 minutes in the Friday night game. That's what I think it should be. Football League Fridays. But anyway, leaving that one aside. Shifting on to Saturday 12th of September 2015. We're gonna start with Football League. We start with Football League first. Sky Bet Championship, QPR 1, Nottingham Forest 2. Charlie Austin scoring on 65 minutes. Henry Lansbury scoring a penalty on 75 minutes after Rob Green was sent off on 72 minutes. He kind of had a lucky escape earlier on in the game in terms of a back pass being played to him and him taking an extra touch. Got away with one, didn't get away with two. And it was one of them was he got sent straight off, deservedly so. But Oliveira scored on 72 minutes, the second goal of the game for Forest. So that was, I think, the first time since 1998 that Nottingham Forest had actually won down at Loftus Road. So, but Birmingham City 4, Bristol City 2. Clayton Donaldson getting a couple goals, helping himself to a hat-trick, actually. 10, 20, 41 minutes. Kodjia scored on 32 minutes. Kodjia scored again on 66 minutes. And Grounds scored on 77 minutes. Bolton 2, Wolves 1. Liam Feeney opening scoring on 17 minutes. Zach Clough scoring a penalty in first half stoppage time, and Benik Afobe scoring a penalty on 68 minutes. Brighton and Hove Albion continuing their very, very good run at the moment. Being well. Their manager, Chris Hughton, got manager of the month, and Kazenga Luar actually had gotten the player of the month as well in the championship. But Brighton 1, Hull 0. Hemed scoring the only goal of the game on 5 minutes. Burnley 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Jones opened the scoring on 7 minutes, but Nuhiu scored on 20. Matt Taylor scored on 78, and Andre Gray starting to pay back that transfer fee already on 91 minutes scoring. Cardiff 2, Huddersfield 0. Pilkington scoring on 69 minutes, and Mason scoring on 77. Charlton 1, Rotherham 1. Rawson scoring on 38 minutes, and Bauer scoring on 65 minutes. Pretty sloppy defending in terms of Charlton conceding to Rotherham as well. Leeds 1, Brentford 1. Jurison scoring on 29 minutes for Brentford, but Antonucci with a quality goal on 76 minutes, leveling up for Leeds United, and that's how it stayed. Middlesbrough 2, MK Dons 0. Stuart Downing scoring on 70 minutes, and David Nugent scoring on 81 minutes. David Nugent, the England international and England scoring international. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. You're really stretching credibility with that line. But here's one of them was Preston 1, Derby 2. Martin scoring on 23 minutes, scored again on 36 minutes. And after a lengthy stoppage, Johnson scored on 90 plus 13. There was a very, very lengthy stoppage, and it's one of them. I can't remember who it was exactly who went down, but there was a clash of heads, but both guys are fine. One got taken to hospital, but he was discharged later on that night, as they updated us in on the Football League Tonight show, actually, as well. Sky Bet League 1, Barnsley 4, Swindon 1. Nyatanga own goal on 20 minutes. Watkins scored on 22 minutes. Sorry, Jazzy knows.
You joker, absolute joker. Like, literally anything at all. Shout out to the Watkins Folly.
Exactly, the Watkins Folly in Wembley. And a big shout. No, I'm not going that way again. I've already done it too much. I'm just waiting for Gavin to get ticked off about it again. Oh, just because she's got that. Oh, God. I just remember that song when Gavin just got annoyed with it. I was like, stop talking about that. Oh, memories like the corners of. Tell me he did not just say that. Anyway, Barnsley 4, Swindon 1. Nyatanga on goal on 20 minutes. Watkins on 22 minutes. Wabara on 44 minutes. Nyatanga again scoring at the right end on 59 minutes, and Hurahan scoring on 76 minutes. Burton 1, Rochdale 0. Bevan with the only goal of the game on 24 minutes. No jokes, please. Chesterfield 3, Colchester 3. Talbot was sent off on 16 minutes. Jones scored on 22. Massey on 29. Lee Novak on 62. Morsey on 74. Moncur on 76. And Ragland with an own goal on 92 minutes. Crazy game. It from the highlights, it was as crazy as it just sounded. Crew 1, Millwall 3. O'Brien scoring on 21 minutes. Dalaval scoring on 36 minutes. O'Brien scoring again on 64 and again on 74. Mark Beavers was booked as well. Please, no jokes. Fleetwood, even though I'm inviting them. Fleetwood 1, Bradford 1. Ryan on the 3rd minute opening scoring, and Hanson scoring on 20 minutes to equalise. Gillingham 2, Blackpool 1. Loft on 17 minutes. Jackson own goal on 51 minutes, and Dak scoring on 81 minutes. Oldham 1, Peterborough 5. And yeah, that's a very interesting one for Mike Harniman about the Peterborough result. Yeah, you got to read that one out in a sec. But Angell scored on 14 minutes. Oztuma scored on 38 minutes. Murphy scored on 48. Koulibaly, I love that name. I think that name's hilarious. Koulibaly scored on 62 minutes. Scored again on 65 minutes. And Angol scored on 78 minutes. No jokes about Angol. Don't even think about it. Port Vale 3, Wigan 2. Grant opening scoring on 34 minutes. Dodd scoring on 64. McCann scoring on 66. Barnett scoring on 83. Barnett was later on sent off on 88 minutes, and Ikpezu scored on 90 minutes. Scunthorpe 1, Coventry 0. Paddy Madden with the only goal of the game for Scunthorpe on 79 minutes. Sheffield United 1, Bury 3. Pope scoring on 61 minutes. Riley scoring on 83. Billy Sharp scoring a penalty on 72 minutes, and Clark scoring on 93 minutes. Southend 0, Shrewsbury 1. Knight Percival with the only goal of the game on 56 minutes. Walsall 2, Doncaster 0. Tom Bradshaw scoring on 85 minutes and 92 minutes. Sky Bet League 2. Bristol Rovers 0, Accrington 1. Key with the only goal of the game on 68 minutes. Cambridge 1, Leyton Orient 1. Blythe opening the scoring on 53 minutes, and Simpson scoring on 72 minutes. Carlisle 2, Dagenham Redbridge 1. Deutsch scoring on 11 minutes. That's a great name. Deutsch. Balanta scoring on 37 minutes, and Ibire scoring on 53 minutes to give Carlisle the win. Exeter 1, Hartlepool 0. Ribeiro on 92 minutes with the only goal of the game. Mansfield 4, Crawley 0. Thomas scoring on 44. Rose 47. Edwards sent off on 52. Green scoring on 71, and Craig Westcar rounding out the scoring on 72 minutes. Newport 1, Morecambe 2. Goodall scoring on 34 minutes. Mullin scoring a penalty on 94, and Barrow scoring on 67. Northampton 1, Oxford United 0. Hoskins scoring on 23 minutes, the only goal of the game. Taylor was sent off on 45. Notts County 3, Luton 2. Big shout outs to Big T, by the way. McLeod scoring on 32 and 48 minutes. Noble
Throw them
scoring on
tees
93.
up.
Of course, Noble scoring on 93. Cuthbert was sent off on 91 minutes. Smith and McGeehan scored on 71 and 76 minutes, respectively. Portsmouth 3, Barnet 1. Yadom on 25 minutes opening scoring. Chaplin scoring on 37 minutes. McGurk scoring on 54 minutes. 66 minutes, Stevens was sent off, and Chaplin scored again on 96 minutes. Stevenage 2, York 2. Nolan opening scoring on 39 minutes. Weltdale scoring on 52 minutes. Lee scoring on 55, and Summerfield scoring on 74 minutes. Wickham 1, Plymouth 2. Reed opened the scoring on 4 minutes. Banton scored on 12 minutes. Jervis scored on 32 minutes to give Plymouth the win, which I know Ryan Sonley will be happy about. And Yeovil 1, Wimbledon 1. Bird is opening the scoring on 26 minutes, and Adebayo Akinfenwa, aka the Beast, aka the Tank, scoring on 79 minutes. In the
Also
Sky,
known as the strongest man on FIFA 16.
oh yeah, and so he should be. Sunday, 13th September 2015, the last result in terms of the Football League. Sky Bet Championship, Fulham 2, Blackburn 1. Ross McCormack opening scoring on 4 minutes. Musa Dembele on 30 minutes, and Jordan Rhodes scoring a penalty on 68 minutes. Big shout out to Deryll David, who's just joined us on Skype. Now, anyone jumping on these Football League results before we move back into the Premier League to round out? Ryan Sonley, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I'm going to jump in on Middlesbrough. To beat Milton Keynes Dons. Well, Middlesbrough beating MK Dons 2-0. I was actually pretty happy with that, because obviously Stuart Downing getting his first goal since he signed back from West Ham at the Riverside, and I'm glad that David Nugent actually got on the score sheet as well. I was really chuffed with that result. Plymouth Wickham, well, I don't know where to go with this. There was a delayed kickoff of 7 minutes due to a GPS technical.
We're gonna get into that in general talking points as it happens. So hold on to your opinions on that one. We will get into that next segment.
And well, I didn't wake up until 3:15, and I was thinking, and my mum's boyfriend messaged me saying we're 1-0 up, and I'm like, you're joking me. And I was like, oh my god, we are. Ruben Reed scores, and I'm like, oh, it's probably going to be a tap-in. But I listened to the rest of the game, and it was actually pretty entertaining. Jason Banton scoring against us, I was not surprised that he did, because he is a good quality player, and we just couldn't. We got the best out of him on his loan deal, but when he signed permanently, we didn't. But I'm glad he got off his goal scoring mark with Wickham, even though it was only a little tap in. Jake Jarvis's goal. This is a bizarre goal. The defender clears it, and it hits.
It was a bit of pinball. Let's put it that way. It was a bit
basically hits Jake Jarvis on the back of his back.
Yeah, football and pinball.
And actually goes in, and he was on the floor, and he was like, he didn't even know whether it had gone in or not, and he didn't celebrate it because he weren't sure if it had gone in. But I was happy that we got the 3 points. We held on, and the saying goes, don't worry about a thing, because every little thing will be all right.
Hold on. You know what? All I can say to that singing, after all the ripping that I get about singing,
-5 stars. -5 stars.
Hey, at least I've got the guts to sing on there.
I do it all the time.
But still, at least I've got the guts, whereas no one else has.
Look at this one. Is he cutting pro wrestling promos? I've got the testicular fortitude. Foley.
No,
Foley.
we're not talking wrestling. We're talking football.
Foley. What else is going? Foley. Oh Lord, Mike Harniman, you wanted to jump in as well?
Yeah, just first of all, I want to go back to League One, and obviously you noticed that Peterborough, well, they lose to Southend last week at Roots Hall, and then obviously the manager gets sacked after that, and then the next game they go and they win 5-1 away at Oldham, and Oldham after the game sacked their manager. How weird is that?
That is crazy, and it's the managerial merry-go-round, which is crazy by default.
That is cray.
No, not cray. It's crazy. What are you, stupid? No.
But yeah, I thought Peterborough did very, very well. Obviously, they must have been working extra hard in training or something, because they look like they really, really wanted that game. And that's just the way it normally goes, though. Once a manager's sort of been relieved of their duties, it normally turns out that the caretaker manager will get like one of these really, really strange results.
I hear that. I mean, Russ Vernon, you wanted to jump in as well, didn't you?
I did, Liam, because I was at Leeds United v Brentford at the weekend. And I must say, the first half, Brentford were the miles better team and deservedly took the lead through a fantastic finish. I've got to say that credit to Brentford. They came with a game plan for the first half. It worked. They got the goal, went into the break 1-0. Second half, we changed it. We went 4-4-2 from 4-3-3. We're much sharper, and we got the breakthrough after Dallas robbed Woods, who was making his Brentford debut, fed into Chris Wood for Leeds United, played out at Mirko Antonucci to curl in and score his goal with a fantastic finish in the end where I was sitting. I was sitting in the northwest corner of the ground at Ellen Road.
Well, what do you think of the game overall, though? What do you think of the game overall?
The first half, Brentford were the better side, Liam. Second half, Leeds were the better side, and a draw was the fair result overall for me, Liam. And I just want to say my condolences go out to one of my fellow Leeds United friends, Chalky Allen, who yesterday sadly lost his mum. His mum died yesterday. Thoughts with your brother from everyone here at Pitch Talk and your Leeds United family on the LUFC Fans Share support group on Facebook. Thoughts go out to you, Chalky, from everyone here at Pitch Talk, Leeds United family, and the fans and your friends over on the LUFC Fans Share support group.
I hear that. Definitely, we echoed those sentiments as well here as Pitch Talk co-host, myself, the G-Man, and Jezzy Fizzle as well. It's never good to lose a family member at all. Never good. On a separate note, Tom Wood, you wanted to jump in? You want to jump in on Southend's result from the weekend?
Yeah, to be honest, I think when I saw the starting lineup, I thought we was going to go on and actually do all right, but obviously we didn't. But when Shrewsbury scored, which was right in front of me, to be honest, they made it a bit over exaggerated when they scored. They all started chanting yes, yes, yes. I was like, just get on with it, go back and carry on, and then we went on bloody lost 1-0. But overall, hopefully we can get a carry on, concentrate on Saturday's game against Millwall now.
I hear that. I mean, Mike Harniman wanted to jump back in on Stevenage.
Yeah, basically all I want to say is that I kind of mentioned it last week on the Plymouth game. We won 2-1 there, but it's kind of complacency with Stevenage at the moment, because we were 2-0 up last week, and we were very lucky to actually hold on for the victory in that game as well. And on Saturday, it was very similar. We kind of had a very poor first half, went in 1-0 down at the break, a 40-yard deflected effort. And then the second half, come back out, got 2 quick goals from Whelpdale and then from Chaz as well. So, to go 2-1 up was good. And obviously I was expecting us to go on from that as well and to go on and get the 3 points. But York, got a bit lucky with the equaliser, kind of with a looping kind of cross come shot, which had Jesse Yoranen beaten at his post, and was just really sort of unlucky way to concede a goal. And yeah, we were unlucky not to get the win as well in the end. We had Brett Williams missed a penalty in, I think, at the 85th minute as well. And then we had a free kick from Tom Conlon, which smashed off the bar. So, you know, we were unlucky, but at the same time, we've really got to work on the defence and the complacency levels as well, because we can't be letting leads or any kind of advantage we get into slip like that.
No, definitely. I mean, Brad Hicks also just wanted to add in RIP Malcolm Leggett, Ralph Milne, and Brian Klotz. So, yeah. You know what? Let's move back here. Let's move just for a bit into the Premier League. Saturday, 12th September 2015. Barclays Premier League. Everton 3, Chelsea 1. Sorry, I just had to stop on that one. It's just a hilarious result. Stephen Naismith, 17 minutes, slickly worked goal as well. 22 minutes got his second. Nemanja Matic with a belter out of nowhere on 36. Naismith completed his hat-trick on 82 minutes. We were waiting to see who Mourinho would blame for that. Anyway, apparently it is being reported that he was extremely rude to Roberto Martinez post-match. But it's one of them was, and apparently in post-match interviews he was once again blaming everyone apart from himself. And you know what? It is one of them ones with Jose Mourinho and his blaming everyone else. You do kind of have to say about Mourinho,
if I want any crap out of you, I'll pick it out of your teeth.
You kind of do have to say that. But one of football's more benevolent individuals, Stephen Naismith, got his hat-trick. So it is one of them. Got to give him that. But Arsenal 2, Stoke 0. Theo Walker scoring on 31 minutes after a brilliant through ball, it must be said, from Mesut Ozil. Ozil will be world-class this week and crap again next week in regards to some Arsenal fans. I bet you if Arsenal get beaten by Chelsea and Ozil supposedly doesn't show up, Ozil will be crap again. And if Giroud doesn't score like he did on 85 minutes against Stoke this past week, if he doesn't score against Chelsea and has a quiet game, he'll be crap again too. But leaving that aside, Walcott doing what he should be doing if he wants to play up top. Scoring on 31 minutes, slick finish, very, very slick finish. But it was one of them was Palace 0, Man City 1. Crystal Palace 0, Man City 1. Iheanacho scoring on 90 minutes. Yes, that was my first attempt at trying to pronounce his name. Iheanacho.
Uncle Kelechi. Yeah.
What?
Uncle Kelechi.
I am not pronouncing. I wasn't even going to go for the first name. I'm just going Iheanacho.
Yes, Uncle Kelechi. Uncle
Kelechi. Oh Lord, I could go further with that, but I won't. Annabelle who? Annabelle? No. Norwich 3, Bournemouth 1. Cameron Jerome scoring on 35 minutes. Wes Hoolahan scoring on 52 minutes. Matt Jarvis scoring on 67 minutes, and Cook getting one back for Bournemouth on 81 minutes. Watford 1, Swansea 0, with Garlow with the only goal of the game on 59 minutes. And Valon Bayrami was sent off for an utterly disgusting tackle. Tackle in the loosest sense of the word. He stamped on 80. So it was one of them ones. It was an absolute disgrace. Deservedly sent off for that. West Brom 0, Southampton 0. The late game from Saturday. Jesse, you want to take this one?
No, I'll let you take this.
Oh, Lord. Wait. All right. Fine then. You know what, Jesse?
If I want any crap out of you, I'll pick it out of your teeth.
Fine.
Hey, come on now. No. Let's just set the record straight here, right? This isn't about crap, unless we're talking about your team's performance, right? So the thing about it is,
all right, hold on. Let me go through the goal scorers.
This is me being generous.
All right,
okay?
fine. Let me go through the goal.
This is me allowing you to state your case first, and then for me to do a nice little summary where I don't go in, too hard, too bad, and upset you, and then the whole show's over. Right?
You underestimate the straight shooting one's professionalism. What are you talking about, sucker?
So, I'm like, I'll let you handle the result. I'll handle the analysis, and we'll leave it at that.
Okay, fine. Man United 3, Liverpool 1. Daily Blind opening the scoring on 40.
Sorry, could you repeat the score again, please?
No. Daley Blinn scoring on 49 minutes from a pretty well worked free kick. Well, I say actually no, it wasn't that well worked. That's actually a carbon copy of another free kick.
Oh, come on now.
No.
Wait.
Hold on, wait. Hold on.
The goalkeeper has no chance. Wait, right? And the defense doesn't actually do much about it. It's a well worked.
Wait. Hold on.
And set piece. That came from the training ground. It was executed in game.
Hold on. Do you know what? The reason why Daley Blinn's free kick to me isn't amazing is because I've seen you lot do that to us before. I think it was 2009 at Anfield where Carlos Tevez, exactly the same thing. It was literally a carbon copy. Go back and look at it if you don't believe me. It's one of them was when you lot figured out zonal marking and did exactly that same thing, which kind of annoyed me because it's like, why is no one closing down? I was watching this in the brand new Ibis Eagles clubhouse, and I was fuming to say the very, very least. When I saw that goal go in, my reaction was,
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Wait a minute. But I don't like it at all.
That was my reaction when Daley Blinn's goal went in. So you can only imagine my reaction when Ander Herrera scored a penalty on 70 minutes. Emphatic penalty, almost Alan Boxic's emphatic penalty, but emphatic nonetheless. But it was one of them ones. Joe Gomez showing the inexperience of youth. He's been impressive in recent weeks, but showing the inexperience of youth by diving in unnecessarily. But Benteke on 84 minutes, scoring a legit goal of the season contender, let alone goal of the week. Stuff of the week is later on in the show. But it is one of them was a legit goal of the season contender. Wayne Rooney's free kick was good. Wayne Rooney's overhead kick against Man City was good. Benteke's on 84 minutes, every bit as. But Marshall,
I'd actually argue it was better. Personally.
So would I, but I was trying not to be biased. But okay.
No, but like here's the thing. For the technique, yeah, it's even better technique than Wayne Rooney's, in my opinion.
Because he caught it with his laces rather than with his shin.
Right? But that's even better technique. And for me, like you have to look at Christian Benteke. Christian Benteke is a unit. Yeah? He is a sizable dude. So for him to get in the air like that and to execute that, because that, again, pure technique.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of them. It was an amazing goal, but you should have. All I'm saying is you should have seen my reaction. Like I was literally when that goal went in. There's certain language that I can't repeat on air.
Yeah, I know where you're gonna go with that.
But it was like boy, and I was literally running around the Ibis Eagles clubhouse, and a couple of the guys, including Jack Lloyd, was like, "Well, you're still 2-1 down, right?" And I was like, "Bro, I don't care. Look at that goal. It's what £32 million gets you." But it was one of them was. But then Marshall came on as a sub, 86 minutes, instant impact, quality goal.
Well, no, not instant, because it took him about 17 minutes to get a touch.
No, but I mean instant in terms of debut.
Yeah,
that's where I'm going with it. But as good a goal as it was, Martin Skirtle, I was horribly disappointed with because
he was on,
it's one that
he was on a crumpet.
No, but it's one that. No, but it's one of them. It's one of them ones. You get from obviously Jezzy G-Man, from being Pitch Talk co-host for 5 years now. It's a case of I hate poor defending. And I rip at defenders more than anyone else because I am one. We'll get into that one later as well. But the fact of the matter is, Martin Skirtle, I would have expected a defender of his caliber. I would have expected that to happen to Lovren. But it's one of them was a defender of his caliber. I would have expected him just to clean out Marshall, just to be like, "Wow, you ain't going nowhere." But this dude was just like trying to do twinkle toes around him. And it's like, dude, just take him out. So, dude, what are you doing? Just take the guy out. Because it was one of them was
buy him lunch first.
I mean, Marshall had no right to score that goal. And as soon as that happened, Jesse, I want to aim this at you in particular. Have you noticed how the parasitic media have switched their verbiage now? Because when you lot bought Marshall,
Yeah,
it was
Louis van Gaal was loopy according to the Metro. Yeah, I know.
Exactly, he was loopy. Oh, it's overpriced. Oh, gold.com even ran an article
Yeah,
saying,
so it was about 18 to 20 million.
No, not even the overpriced thing. It was a case of gold.com actually ran an article saying, what's it, worst purchase of the transfer window? And I'm thinking to myself, how can you tell that? Guy ain't even played the game yet. How in the hell can you be coming out with those statements? And now,
basically his goal scoring record prior to the move.
yeah, but now nose is clean up his bottom. It's one of them was, oh my God, he is good. Look, he's the next Henry. And it's like, Reggie, wow, Scooby-Doo is less confused than you, to borrow that line from the Football Factory. Scooby-Doo is less confused than these parasitic media outlets. It is embarrassing. When I see that kind of flip-flopping, that's almost like the Wenger out brigade. It is embarrassing to the game, in my personal opinion. Good goal.
That kind of flip-flopping needs to be reserved for the beach. The bottom line of it is this, right? Either you believe in the talent, and I says, here's my thing, right? The people that have been paying attention to him, from his youth days, in terms of when he was playing like under 18, so on and so forth, that knew the kind of potential that he had, even as a youngster from before he signed a professional contract. If you're talking to those people, yeah, and you look at the current market in terms of what it costs to sign a young player of any kind of promise from anywhere, right? That's actually part of the going rate. Think about it. How much did Wayne Rooney cost at the same age? Roughly the same. And if you go and add inflation, probably even more. Right? So that's the going rate. And then, of course, there was talk that, Barcelona were interested. Arsenal were reportedly interested, so on and so forth. So when you have all of those entities involved, yeah, and you're trying to go and pit them to the post, unfortunately, this is what you do. Right? That's the kind of money that you have to spend. And I want to tie it into the David De Gea failed transfer to Real Madrid, by the way. Failed.
Yeah, because what's it the Botchamania-esque transfer? Yeah.
Literally, right? Because here's the thing, and I said it a couple of weeks ago. If you want the player, yeah, if he's the guy you want, if he's the guy that's going to be the crown jewel in your team, so on and so forth, and everything else, and you've already spent big money on other players, right? Pay what you need to pay to get what you want.
You gonna pay what you owe.
Literally, pay what you need to pay to get what you want, right? As one of my mentors says, okay, in order to get what you want, irrespective of what it is, you have to pay the price. It's as simple as that. If you're not willing to pay the price, you don't deserve the reward.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So they paid that fee.
Pay the cost to be the boss.
They paid that fee and they're beginning to reap part of the reward. It's as simple as that.
Well, beginning is the it's one of them was beginning is the key word. And it's, by the way, speaking of beginning, 3 minutes into the second half, Payet has scored another goal. So thanks for that, Russ Vernon. West Ham are 2-0 up against Newcastle. Just want to say in regards to Man United Liverpool, it is a case of that first half had me thinking to myself, I would rather watch paint dry whilst gouging my own eyes out instead of watching that first half. That was awful. That was
terrible,
awful, and it was one of them. But the fact of the matter is, in terms of this game, you could tell we missed Coutinho because we did not have that creativity, and what we didn't have, Man United had. They had the creativity, and you pounced on our mistakes. But you got to bear in mind what United had something like 3 shots on target or something like that. 2 of them were from set pieces and 1 was from open play. Or I think that was the stats for the goals, whereby 2 of them from set pieces and one was from open play. And I think they had 3-4 shots on target all game. So it's one of them ones. It shows you that there was no domination really from either side in that game, to be honest. If you look at the possession stats, there was no real domination. But it was one of them games that will only really live in the infamy because of the final 2 goals. because the final 2 goals were that good, those will be the only things remembered from that game. Now, just want to say, because I haven't really got a great deal to say on this, to be perfectly frank. Ings and Benteke, if you're going to play 2 strikers, play them closer together, because there were gaping chasms between the 2 of them. There were like a good 20, 30 yards between the 2 of them at a lot of points. But the fact of the matter is, the G-Man said, we're going to come back to the G-Man in a minute, but G-Man says he'll remember the blind free kick. But as said, for me, the blind free kick doesn't really stand out. It stands, the only reason for me it stands out is because I've seen United do that to us before. So it's not exactly something that is brand new and has never happened before. Like the Marshall goal is one of them ones where it's like, I have not seen Skirtle that poor in a long time, and it is one of them ones. And that goal was embarrassing. As said, the G-Man can back me up on this, being that he's played alongside me. He knows what I would have done in that situation. That's all I'm saying. He knows what I would have done in that situation. But Giggs' one was a different goal, though. It was a different kind of goal in terms of it didn't open out the body, he lashed it into the roof of the net. But anyway, the blind free kick, carbon copy of a Tevez goal we can see there. I think it was back in 2009 when United were at Anfield, and he had the black kits on. I seem to remember. Cristiano Ronaldo was playing in that game. So it is one of them ones. But the fact of the matter is, we lacked creativity, and we were poor at the back. So that's a dangerous combination. That is a dangerous combination. But this crowdfunder thing, trying to raise £7 million to get Rodgers out, is a load of crap. It is absolutely stupid. And well done to Yahoo Eurosport, by the way. Whilst I'm calling people out, well done to Yahoo Eurosport saying, oh yeah, losing to Man United wasn't the ideal preparation for the match on Thursday against Saint Etienne. We're playing Bordeaux, you morons. You idiots. We're playing Bordeaux on Thursday in the Europa League, not Saint Etienne. Saint Etienne ain't even in our group. Well done, Yahoo Eurosport. Your brown-nosing, crap-disturbing, and bum-licking deserves a grand rating of
-5 stars.
And the reason for that is,
if I want any crap out of you, I'll pick it out of your teeth.
Thank you very much. That's what I've got to say about that one. But the fact of the matter is, we're 5 games in, and like I said pre-show, I had actually not seen the Premier League table until someone actually showed me it right before Liverpool v Man United. Because I believe there's no point even looking at the table until at least 10 to 12 games have been played. There's no real point, because United, by virtue of that victory, jumped 6 places. Stoke were bottom of the table going into the weekend, and they could have jumped 6 places if they'd won. So you see where I'm going with this. It's one of them ones. It's pointless. It really is pointless. Chelsea's bad run at the moment. Yeah, it's a bad run, but the fact of the matter is, you know that they've got the quality throughout that squad to turn it around. So anyone calling that a crisis is stupid. Mourinho, I got no time for his public persona anyway. Great manager, yes. Got no time for his public persona. Some people want to call me out and say, "Oh, look at you you're taking on the media hype and the media spin." No, my opinion on Mourinho is not influenced by parasitic media hype. So, if Craig Django Gilbert, if you are listening, then hell, you've gotten that one completely wrong, and you clearly don't listen to shows on a regular basis, and you don't know me personally. But it is what it is. Now, it's one of them ones. Bayrami deserved the sending off. Norwich Bournemouth was a surprise. Was a surprise. The Everton Chelsea result was hilarious. When I saw it at 2-1, it was funny. I got changed, but before the Ibis Freeze match, and then I saw it was free. It was like, that was quite funny. But
I just want to mention Sunderland won. Sunderland 0, Tottenham 1. Ryan Mason with the only goal of the game on 82 minutes. Great through ball on that one as well. There was a great through ball to actually Jermaine Defoe early on, and he was unlucky not to score in that one. Arsenal could have made their match a lot more emphatic as well, just mentioning that one. But yeah, Sunday 13th September, Sunderland 0, Tottenham 1. Leicester 3, Aston Villa 2. Great comeback. I mean, Jack Grealish's goal, very nicely taken. Carlos Gil, his goal, nicely done as well. 39 and 63 minutes respectively. But Richie Delat scoring on 72, Vardy on 82 minutes, and Nathan Dyer on 89 minutes. We were surprised here when Swansea let him go, and this is why. So it's one of them ones. It is one of them ones. But Jezzy, G-Man, you guys jumping in on the rest of the weekend's results before we throw out to the Skypers as well, because we still got a lot more shots.
Yes, sir. Well, I suppose I should start with the big game on Saturday evening. And I'll say this, right? As you rightly said, the first half, honestly, terrible. Terrible as a spectator, right? There are a lot of people that want to go and criticize women's football, right, and the quality of women's football. These are two of the biggest men's clubs in the world, bar a very few.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what they produce in a half of football. All right. I will say this, one of the best games I've seen this calendar year was in the Women's World Cup. And it was infinitely better than that first half. Infinitely.
Are we talking the England-Germany semi-final?
That's one of them.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
That's one of them. But to move and groove a little bit on this subject, the second half shows that literally football is a game of two halves. The very ineffective Memphis Depay was taken off. And I want to say this about Memphis Depay, okay? He's only just moved to the Premier League, okay? If you are expecting him to literally take the form book, rip it up, pick up the shreds of what he's ripped up, rip it up again, pick them up and then put them in a shredder to turn them into artificial snow, okay? That's not going to happen overnight. I'm sorry.
But this is the thing. Sorry to interrupt you, but see, this is the thing. This is the thing that gets me about not just the parasitic media, but fans in general. Short-termist. Very, very short-termist. There are a lot of fans out there who are like, after one game, oh, he's crap. After one game, oh, he's a world beater. He's going to be amazing. The comparisons with Marshall and Henry after one game, but previous in the previous week, you were saying the guy's overpriced and the worst buy of the transfer window. This is what gets me. That annoys me a lot more than a poor result. And hell, it's one of them ones. Like I said on Facebook, it's one of them ones. Co-hosting a PT show has really had its influence over the past 5 years. But Jezzy, anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
So yeah, overall, as to say, like, okay, like he's gonna have his games where he's not gonna be as effective. He's gonna have his games where he's gonna be very disappointing, as are all players, right? If we look at that Chelsea team that lost to Everton, okay, so far this season, one of the players of the season last season, Eden Hazard, he has been off the boil completely. He's been off the boil so much. I honestly think he's been left outside overnight, i.e. he's a little bit icy. That's how off the boil he is.
Are you rapping? I.e. is a little bit icy. I.e. is a little bit icy.
Right. And then, of course, you look at another star player from last season. Yes, he scored a great goal, Nemanja Matic, that is. But in terms of his overall performance, off the boil. Cesc Fabregas, off the boil. Willian, off the boil.
Hey, Costa, same thing. Stones had him up.
Right? And then, of course, you look at Branislav Ivanovic, and I'm saying, didn't they sign a right back?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm asking the question, what is he not doing in training to get a game? Because right now, Branislav Ivanovic even, is not looking like that guy. Not like the guy that he was the last few years where you're saying, actually, yeah, he deserves to be the right back. Right? Or better yet, why not actually play an actual left back and move Cesar, Dave, Azpilicueta over to right back where he actually plays? Why not do that? Because as I say, right about now, Branislav Ivanovic, not that guy. And the thing is, if there is no defensive shape, structure, organization in front of the goalkeeper, Okay, of course he's going to look terrible. Now, that's not taking anything away from Everton's performance. I thought Everton were absolutely fantastic. Stephen Naismith, the super sub of the weekend. It was an absolutely fantastic contribution. But overall, it was a great team performance. I thought John Stones, he looked immense. When you think about the pressure that he must have been under, not just from the fans, not just from himself, right, but from the occasion of playing against the man that he's touted to replace. Not just at Chelsea, but also in the England setup. And I know that John Terry's been out of the England setup for a while, but I honestly feel that he is the true natural successor as opposed to, say, a Gary Cahill. Right? To put in a performance like that, he's done really well. Really, really well. But going back to Man United Liverpool, when Anthony Marshall got his goal, or Martial, as we say, I had to go to the end of that Baltimore remix of Batista Is Down. To the part where JBL says, we know who's not going to win.
Would you like me to do that for you?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. If you'd like to sing along, feel free.
But I don't like it at all. Batista is down. Batista is down. Batista is down. Batista is down. Got knocked, slap out. Got knocked, slap out. Got knocked, slap out. Batista just got knocked, slap out. Got knocked, slap out. Got knocked, slap out. We know he's not gonna win.
And that was Liverpool. Right after that goal. I just need to say, right? So for everybody that's sipping the haterade right now, I will say this. Look, it's one game, right? And as a lot of fans rightly pointed out, yes, Federico Makeda, that is.
Against Aston Villa.
Notably scored. Yeah. And of course, Lord Bentner notably scored as well. So it needs to be said, yeah, look, the patience rule is still in effect here. We're not talking about patience in the sense of Brendan Rodgers' patience. We're talking about this is a young player that is going to need to not only learn the game of football, not only learn the position as a striker, but also to mature as a person. Okay, and to go and expect so much from him right now is frankly unrealistic. Because if you were to put him in any other profession in the world, including playing other sports, right? The first thing that we would say is he's young. The second thing that we'd say is he needs time. The third thing that we say is he's got great potential, but he needs to live up to it. So given that those are all the things that we would say.
And also he needs to pay his dues and get seasoned, baby.
Then, you know, I'm like, just give the guy time. Please do not jump on the hype train. Let it pass through, yeah? Because I will say this, that hype train is not stopping at my station. It's as simple as that.
No, same
okay.
way.
Yes, it was a wonderful cameo, but my whole line of thinking is this. He needs to do that not just consistently for a whole season, but for a series of seasons. Right? When he gets to, for example, the levels of consistency of a Cristiano Ronaldo, who has an absolutely phenomenal goal scoring record for Real Madrid and overall in club football, by the way. And of course, the only Lionel Messi. Once he gets to those kinds of levels of consistency and performance, then we can start to talk about that, right? So much so that I'm actually disappointed that more people are talking about Anthony Martial than they are talking about Cristiano Ronaldo.
Weird, eh? Short-termism.
No, it is weird because didn't he score 5 goals this weekend?
He did.
Doesn't he did, an absolutely ridiculous games to goals ratio
that everyone's looking at, though? That's the thing. Espanyol, not exactly well-being.
Didn't he go and surpass Raul's record?
Yeah, he did.
As well. So I'm like, come on now. Yeah. Come on now. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about actually them paying 80 million, right, for him has actually been, let's say it, a bargain. Right? Not just in merchandise, but in goal return as well.
Yeah, you
has
could
he been
argue
slightly
that.
selfish to get that? Yeah, but on great. So the bottom line of it is this: if we really want to talk about transfer fees, let's talk about that one, and let's leave Anthony Martial or Martial to actually continue to grow and develop. Right? But going on to the rest of the weekend's games, let's start. You know what? there's been talk of interest from Barcelona in Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah, we tweeted this out and we were like, you know what? This is why we don't even acknowledge rumors on the show,
right?
Because it's so dumb.
I know, and I'm not actually going to go and expand on that too much, but I will say this: if you look at his recent form, okay, and I'm not talking about from the start of the season, I'm talking about even towards the tail end of last season, right? Like, let's look at his last 10, 15, even 20 games. He's been phenomenal. Right? And he continues to be the man that steps up to the plate. And then after he's at the plate, he knocks it out of the park. It's as simple as that. He was one of the major catalysts for that comeback, in my opinion. And he has been a standout performer in the Premier League. I think he has his goal and assist total was what, 6?
I think already.
Goals and assists, right? Already. And everybody else, the nearest contender, has what, 4? And you want to tell me that this isn't a man in form, that this isn't a guy that actually deserves some of the plaudits that he's getting?
He's on form.
Payet, by the way.
He's
another one that
on
deserves
form,
it. So let's talk about those players. Let's talk about those players because those are the guys that are really standing out. And as you said, congratulations to Tottenham on their result. Congratulations to Ryan Mason as well, because for me, it's all about those kinds of players. Getting the crucial goals, getting the crucial game time, because they're going to be the ones that really carry you forward. It's not always going to be those big signings that come in for big money. It's not always going to be them. But also congratulations to Watford as well. I thought that Igalo's goal, very, very good. Excellent link-up play with Troy Deeney and a very good finish as well. And overall, discounting Valon Barami's absolutely disgustingly bad challenge. If you want to call it that and put it in inverted commas. I thought Watford played very well. I did. I thought they were excellent. In terms of all this talk about Chelsea being in crisis and so on and so forth, as Straight Shooting One pointed out, it's 5 games, right? And I think the other thing about this crisis in inverted commas talk is that Chelsea have been so good for such a long time that even the slightest wobble is now considered a crisis. Here's the thing, right? A very, very wise man said, there's always room at the top. And that's because it's always very, very, very hard to stay there.
Oh, yeah. It's one of them. It's easier to get there than it is to stay there.
Right? And then, of course, we'll talk about, law of gravity. So what goes up comes down. At some point, this Chelsea team had to show some regression after all that progression. Just simple as that. These are the basic laws of life that I'm talking about now, as applied to football. So right about now, Jose Mourinho's in a predicament that really, has he been in it several times in the majority of his career? No. But I will tell you this, I think he has more than enough himself as a manager in terms of his skill set as a manager. And then, of course, you look at the litany of talented players in that squad. Combined, they have more than enough to overturn this. Yeah. Do I honestly believe that they'll go on to win the league? Probably not. Because I think psychologically, it's a very big blow. And as I say, we haven't even got to the congestion zone or the danger zone of when we start playing domestic cups and, of course, European football as well. Right? We haven't even got to that danger zone yet. So once we start to get into that and really get into the thick of it, I think that's when you'll start to see actually this is a bit bigger than what we think it is. And then, of course, there'll be the knock-on effects of playing in Europe and, of course, in the domestic cups as well. And I think that's where they will fall short. Congratulations to Manchester City. I have to say that for one reason only. It was an academy graduate in Uncle Kelechi, Ian Archo, that ended up getting the goal. So one of my main criticisms of Manchester City since the Sheikhs took over is that there aren't enough academy players
playing in the side regularly. Now I know
there's an
that-
interesting little thing actually brewing between Man City and Man United about youth talent at the moment as well, and it's a little ironic, but we'll probably tackle that in a special feature at another time. But
yeah. So I know that, as I said, Uncle Kelechi is not playing regularly, but it was good to see him get the goal rather than someone that they shelled out, I don't know, say 80 million or whatever it is. But Kevin De Bruyne, I have to say this, for his ridiculous transfer fee, he did look very, very good as well. That needs to be said. Overall, tonight, I have to give the plaudits to Dimitri Payet as well. I think he surprised me with the move to West Ham, but he hasn't surprised me in terms of his own quality and the form that he's shown so far this season. I think for those of you who are unfamiliar with some of the foreign leagues, i.e. League the Eredivisie, the Brasileirão, La Liga, of course, and of course Serie A, my personal favorite. If you don't watch those, then you know you're not going to know very much about those players, unless of course you happen to play Football Manager as well and venture out a little bit. I know that the G-Man has a particular save where he's done a little bit of venturing out across Europe and through the borders, right? So unless you paid attention to those players like I have been, you won't know very much about them, but they are performing, and congratulations to them. And I actually hope, for the sake of my good friend, my brother from another mother, Mr. Martins Lynch, that West Ham hold on to this one and get the 3 points this season. And of course, shout out to my boss lady. Be very, very happy if that was to be the result for you, because it means, well, look, you'd end up being happy.
I hear that. I mean, G-Man, you wanted to jump in on the weekend's results before we throw out to the Skypers. You
and
actually
does,
one.
Though,
oh, wait.
Before he does, I just want to say this. Sunderland, I think the problem with Sunderland, right, is that they're cooking a dish with too many ingredients. That's the problem with Sunderland right now. They really do need to go and separate the wheat from the chaff and actually find out who deserves to be there, who doesn't deserve to be there, because it's just not working. It's just not working. And I know, we talk about Christian Benteke's £32 million fee and everything else, and how difficult it is to go and find relative value in the transfer market. But shelling out, what was it, 8 million on Fabio Borini? And I know it's still early, but could they have spent that 8 million a little bit better? I think so. But G-Man, I'm done. Thank you very much. Good night. No, I'm kidding. Over to you.
Thanks, Jezzy. That's a very nice little analysis that you did right there. But just touching on where you left off with Sunderland versus Tottenham. To be honest, you know what? Your comment about Borini just then, I think, is a bit out of place, because I think Borini had quite a good impact in the game at the weekend. And to be honest, the thing about Sunderland is Dick Advocates, basically, like you said, there's a pot with too many ingredients in there, and they need to throw a few of those ingredients out, because it's, the soup's not tasting that nice. But they're starting to look like a team that's slowly learning how to play with each other, and I don't think it will be too long before they can get themselves a run, especially if they can get Defoe and Fletcher scoring. I think if they can get either those two on a form of scoring, they will find their touch. They have got the players in that team, on their day that can produce, but they're just heavily low on confidence. And if anything, the performance against Tottenham, you can't say that Sunderland didn't give their all. They gave something, and it was a pretty good goal by Tottenham, and that's coming from an Arsenal fan who loves to rib them. Mason's goal was terrific. I can't remember how many passes there was in that goal, but he started it. Well, he bossed that move, and when he received the ball, got goal on with Pantilimon, you just thought, yeah, he's going to score. There's no way he's going to miss it. And it was a good result for Tottenham. But just moving on, Everton, Chelsea, that's really and truthfully, I know I should be saying Arsenal versus Stoke was my result of the weekend, but that was really my result of the weekend. At the moment, I'm on this whole flex where it's like karma. I just love seeing Chelsea lose. I love seeing Chelsea not even Chelsea and the Chelsea fans, but I just love seeing the club, you know, struggle like this because it affects Mourinho.
Let's all laugh at Mourinho. Let's all
And
laugh at
it's Mourinho, whatever you want to call him, yeah. You know, I just love seeing his face post-match conferences where he's upset, where he's skirmishing, where he's trying to find an excuse, and his excuses are just blatantly a load of BS for some. But in terms of the result itself, great result for Everton. I agree with both of you, Stones. You know, he turned up, he done his job. But I've got to give the biggest shout out to Naismith, who came off the bench and getting that hat trick. You know, that's fantastic. You know, as one pundit put it, it was the perfect hat trick. You know, right foot, left foot, and the header. So, and he was absolutely terrific. You know, he gave Everton that life that they needed to, you know, just boss that match, you know. So big shout out to them. Chelsea's problems, personally, I feel their problems is that they're still celebrating last season's victories. And whether they're going to show up to the party too late, I'm not sure. But they really do need to start getting results on the board. And their match against us at the weekend, that could be the catalyst for them turning around a very poor start to the season very quick, or it could be an endangerment to them really slipping and sliding down in confidence if they end up losing. Because it was, if you remember, the Arsenal result during the Community Shield where Mourinho was shooting off his mouth about this record he held over Wenger and Arsenal. And then since that loss to us, Chelsea have not been that team that we all know. They haven't been that team with the Costas, with the Hazards, even though I don't rate Hazard that highly, like many do, with the Fabregases, with the Matic, you know, Ivanovic. They just look in the shadow of their former selves, which was just, you know, about 3 or 4 months ago. Moving on to Arsenal Stoke, big result for Arsenal. To be honest, I always thought we were going to win that game, but it was how we was going to win it, whether we were going to win it convincingly and take it to Stoke, or whether we were going to, you know, basically just struggle and just get that point. And where I feel we let ourselves down, and Liam, you touched on it, is the fact that we didn't score as many goals as we potentially could have. Theo Walcott, and Giroud basically missing some sitters, you know, which on another day, if they didn't score, they would have got roasted. Especially Theo Walcott in the first half, where his half-hearted attempt at a volley. I know he was a bit off-footed with, you know, trying to strike it with his right boot, but still, you know, you would have thought someone of his quality and someone of his actual talk, because he talks a lot, you know, would have had a better connection on that ball. And also Giroud, it was kind of laughable when he came on. He found himself in an ultimate position where the ball's ricocheted through between a few defenders. He's onside. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and he slots it wide. That was just, you know, I can't tell you what the fans were saying in the stands at the time, because, you know, it's deplorable. But he did get his goal, and he did, you know, prove a lot of, well, him and Theo Walcott basically did shut a lot of mouths again. And as touching on what Jesse was saying, and you were saying about the media, pundits and fans alike, who like to shoot off their mouths when people have a bad game, and then as soon as they have the good game, you know, they're singing their names and praises. But great result for us, 3 points in the bag. You know, hopefully we can beat Chelsea at the weekend, and I love it. Norwich, big shout out to them, good victory. Swansea, I had them down to win this match, and to be honest, you got to say big shout out to Watford on that 1-0. Man United, Liverpool, just touching on that slightly, because there's quite a few things there in that game I disagree with. I said already, the blind goal from the free kick, I agree with Jesse wholeheartedly. You know what? Don't matter if that's been done before. It doesn't matter if it's been practiced on the training field. It's the fact that it's executed, and any team that executes a free kick like that, yeah, you've got to say that's one of the most perfect goals, because that's what you want. You get a free kick, you execute it, and you execute it well.
Not perfect from a defensive standpoint, because it's such an easy goal to stop happening. That's the frustration for me with that goal, which is why I was pretty much effing and blinding.
Well, you
it's
say
easy
that,
to
but
stop.
if
you man mark and people were marked up, there were 3 men on the edge of the box and Blind was furthest out. So it's a case of, if you mark, like at one point you see Gomez saying, "Oh, all right, I'm gonna go mark this guy." You see, there was a couple of other people just kind of ambling their way around. And it's like, if you pick up, that goal doesn't happen. Very rudimentary.
I actually get you, but if you're not expecting it, because I don't think they were expecting Man United to even attempt that, to be honest. And then when it happened...
Yeah, but if you're marking up, they can't do it.
When it happens, you got to put it in Man United's court to say, look, you've got to execute it now, because a lot of teams have tried it and they can't execute. The ball goes over, it goes wide, it goes straight into the wall. You know, that was a well-executed goal. It was a brilliant goal. You know, you could watch that 10 times and, you know, you could go out and try and practice it 10 times and you ain't scoring that.
I don't know.
I don't know if you agree with that.
I personally don't agree with that, because I think it's one of them ones. It's such a simple goal to stop. That's what frustrates me the most. It's very easy. It's very easy to stop.
Well, I'm going to throw my 2 cents in on this, right? And I'm going to say this. For it being such an easy goal to stop, the major disappointment, and the reason why, for me, this goal is actually so good, is that, as you said, it's so easy to stop, but you don't stop it.
But you can. But the thing is, you can stop it if you mark. If people are marking up,
it's so simple, yet you can't do it.
No, but if people
execution overrides, overrules everything.
No, I don't see from a defensive standpoint.
Your team doesn't stop it 1-0.
From a defensive standpoint, I can't agree with you. But you know what? The fact of the matter is, we do need to move on though, because the Skype.
I just want to touch on a few more points in that game.
All right, cool.
Because I think one thing that's been overshadowed is everyone's talking about Martel and his winning goal, and it was a terrific goal. And I didn't actually hear about you guys speaking about the transfer last week, so I won't touch on that because you're touching it already. But you know what? As a youngster coming onto that field in that sort of game and that sort of goal, yeah, you've got to say, as Jesse Fizzle said earlier on, you know, he looks like he could be the pedigree that could, you know, make that fee of money value for money. Just like Wayne Rooney has. Wayne Rooney's proved me wrong. And I was ridiculing Man United when they bought Wayne Rooney, you know, and for the fee that they did. What was it, 30 something? How much did they buy Wayne Rooney for again?
About 30 something.
Yeah, about
30 something million. And again, this could be another star just like that. I'm not saying he's going to be, I'm saying he could be.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, Van Gaal, that decision to throw him on, yeah, you know, was the right decision. Because it was at a point in time in the match where Liverpool was starting to creep back into the match. And, you know,
it was a game crying out for creativity, you know, and that's what
when
he
you've
brought.
got that sort of player who wants to prove himself, and he's just hungry, he's young and fearless, and he's just going to run at the defense. And, you know, that's the sort of goals you're going to get. And he executed it well.
Yeah. But you know what? It is one of them. I said, yeah, he did execute it well, but he had no right to score it from a defensive standpoint. I'm still ticked off about it from a defensive standpoint. But hey, we could be here all night debating that. But Ryan Sonley wanted to jump in on the Premier League results along with some of the other Skypers as well. Ryan, did you want to jump in? All right, we're going to have to move on.
It must be AFK.
Yeah. All right, we're going to have to move on then. Mike Harniman, you wanted to jump in on Premier League results?
Yes. Right. Basically, I'm going to take the Arsenal game first against Stoke. And I think it was a dominating first half really from Arsenal. Obviously, we had chances early on. We had Alexis hitting the post, which was really early, like a couple of minutes. And then you know, we got the goal in about the half-hour mark from Theo as well, which was, you know, a decent ball over the top. Kind of took the defence out, and then Theo latched onto it as he does, you know, so well sometimes. Second half was probably very similar to the first, I think, as well. Was, you know, both got better as the game went on, but I think we edged it overall. Giroud's goal was a nice cross from Sonley as well from the free kick. I think we, you know, it was a dominated victory overall, and it kind of just shows where Arsenal are against Stoke now, because, you know, obviously a couple of years back when we went to the Britannia, we had a couple of dodgy results there, and the physical edge on us, really. Obviously with the injuries that has kind of had, you know, what Ram on Eduardo in the past as well. So, you know, we're kind of showing that we're not going to let that bother us as much now, which is a really good thing.
I mean, there's a couple of other points, and thank you, Mike, for that opinion as well. There's been a couple of other interesting points just dropped in the Skype chat. Whilst Deryll was with us, he said, on my knowledge of Man City, they win all their league cups. I refereed 2 PL youth tournaments during the summer, and they won them both by 4. Their coaches are great as well. So that was related to one of the earlier points. So Brad Hicks said most academies do, from what I know. Leicester's, they educate youngsters properly. He says Leicester's are pretty good. My boss's son is in Leicester's academy, and Deryll has also said, from what I've seen, Watford, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, and Southampton have the best academies from who I've refereed. Personally, on Sunderland, I don't know why they don't bring back Manone back in their lineup, as he's better than their current number 1, who just so happens to be Costel Pantilimon. I haven't said it like that in a while, but I mean, Russ Vernon, do you want to jump in quickly before we got to move on the Premier League results?
Yes, I did, Liam, and mainly I want to jump in on the 2 games yesterday that I watched, and I'll be Liverpool United again. So I'll tell Man United Liverpool game first, on Saturday. And for me, I thought Man United were better, so Man United were the more dominant and were either wanted it more. I must say, a fantastic finish from Christian Benteke there to give Liverpool up, but that was all it was, up of trying to get the way back into William, in my opinion.
Let's not rub it in, keep going.
And I must say, I think Martial's got a fantastic finish on his Premier League debut, and a lot of people writ him off before he'd even kicked the ball in the Premier League. And I think he's going to prove him wrong. I think it's going to be a big player for Man United this season. And I think, to say this with me being a Leeds fan, but I think Man United's going to have a solid season this year, Liam. And going on to yesterday's games, I think Tottenham will be lucky. I think a draw would have been a fair result between Sunderland and Tottenham yesterday. And I think the way Leicester came back from 2-0 down, it shows the commitment and desire from end of last season, where they had the fire and the spirit to keep going and to go and stay up rather than lose the games and go down. They had that fire, and all he's done, which I agree with John Barnes, I heard him say yesterday, all that Ranieri's done is maybe fetched in 1, maybe 2 players on loan, 1 permanent in there, and he's kept the same style, he's kept the same philosophy that Nigel Pearson had, which kept him up, which I think is a good thing, and the players in Angell into that. And this is showing on the pitch with the comebacks that they're doing and the results that they're putting into, especially to be one of the teams along with Man City to be unbeaten and only 4 points behind the team. Hopefully, for Brad and many other Leicester fans I talk to, they keep it up and they keep having a good performance and have a good season, finishing the either Champions League or Europa League places. Because I think we could see Leicester back get in Europe again and have some good quality times and have some good quality games. So good luck to Leicester for the rest of the season. Hope keep up your good form.
You know what? The thing is, it's a case of keeping up the form, and that's always the difficult thing. And Brad Hicks has said he'd love for that as well. I think it's probably going to be one of them ones where it's going to be the opposite to last season, where for a while Leicester were Leicester were unlucky on a general basis. They were doing most things right, but then it was those little things that they couldn't do. But then it ended up turning around under Pearson. I think it'll probably be the other way with Ranieri, whereby they might have a little bit of a blip for a bit. One of them was, especially as Jesse Fizzle said earlier, once the cup competitions start becoming a factor, that's where your metal truly gets tested. So kind of make it interesting. And by the way, West Ham Newcastle is a full-time result. Dimitri Payet's brace has given West Ham the win. So West Ham 2, Newcastle 0. Dimitri Payet on 9 and 48 minutes. That is a full time. You know what? It is one of them ones where we have still got a lot more show left. But for now, we are just going to take a quick little pause for the cause. So we are going to be back in just a couple of minutes, just after a quick little break. We'll see you in a minute. The football talk show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
The G-Man.
Samir Sonley, Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Carambeu.
Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan.
We the people, for the people. Jesse Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitch talk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website, www.pitch-talk.com. Your Monday night footballing fix, Pitch Talk, is brought to you by and in association with
Talking Pie, a local podcast made by the fans for the fans of Notts County FC, hosted by Adam and Thomas Hewitt.
Simply Exclusive Entertainment. If you need a party or rave film, go to sxemedia.com for more information.
Apparently Rich, simple yet effective web solutions to help get your company off the ground. Visit apparentlyrich.com for more information. And LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video. If you need a video filmed and or edited, check out ljaproductions.co.uk. LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video, offering video production services such as video editing, video encoding for the web, including YouTube and Vimeo, audio recording, filming of interviews, promos, live events, and much more. Get in touch at www.ljaproductions.co.uk or twitter.com/LJA Productions and let the new blood in digital video promote you. Pitch Talk is brought to you by and in association with
the one-stop shop for all your coaching needs, Motivate Sports and Fitness. Check out motivatesportsandfitness.com for more information.
The new football culture magazine, Thin White Line. Check out thinwhitelinemagazine.com for more information.
Storm FM with new hot releases played daily. Feel the boom at stormfm.net.
Two girls with their bunny Scotty trying to cover as much women's football as they can. Girls on the Ball. Check out girlsontheball.com for more information.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Carambeu.
Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan.
Dave McLaughlin.
I'm Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former chairman of Ibis FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening
And you're listening to Pitch Talk.
The only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Generally, talking points.
Children of all ages. Good evening, it is Monday night and we are finished score. We're on some channel roads, oh, kid points. And the first one relates to everything in the game. Now, want to give a big shout out to Ryan Sonley in regards to this first general talking point for this week. Plymouth Argyle boss Derek Adams calls into question the use of GPS trackers by Wickham. This was from September 12th, 2015, and we did mention this was mentioned in results analysis in terms of the stoppage, but Derek Adams has highlighted his safety concerns over the GPS trackers that were worn by Wickham Wanderers players in their 2-1 defeat against Plymouth Argyle at Adams Park. The Pilgrims boss does not believe the equipment should be allowed by the football authorities. GPS, global positioning system, trackers can measure the distance ran by players as well as their speed and also monitor their heart rate. It is another example of the increasingly scientific approach to football, even at League 2 level. A strap is put around the body of a player with the GPS tracker positioned on their back, and it can stick out from underneath their shirt. Adams spotted Wickham were using them in the tunnel before the teams came out for the start of the match. He raised the issue with referee Todd Robinson, who then spoke to Wickham boss Gareth Ainsworth about it. Kickoff was delayed for 6 minutes as Wickham officials printed a copy of an email from the Football League giving them permission to wear the GPS trackers. That was shown to Robinson, and only then was the official from West Sussex prepared to let the game get underway. Despite the clarification, Adams believes that GPS trackers are as much a hazard as rings and necklaces which cannot be worn by players in matches. Adams said the equipment was sticking out the back. There was a bulge in someone's jersey, and I asked the referee, is that allowed? No jokes about the bulge in the jersey. Anyway, I wasn't aware that it was allowed, and Wickham, provided a document to say that it was. Adams continued, he said, I don't think it should be allowed. It's a hard piece of equipment under the back of someone's jersey. Somebody could head it and injure themselves, or someone's finger could get caught in it. There are a number of things that could go wrong. Somebody could get choked if they are pulled too hard. I have seen them used in pre-season, but I haven't seen it in the league game. I didn't ask them for the GPS tracker to be taken off. I just wanted clarification. I'm not sure what the ruling is. I just asked a question and nobody could provide me with an answer at that time. The email provided by Wickham was enough for Robinson to get the game started, but Adams suggested he was still not satisfied with the reasoning, even though the referee was. But anyway, the first clue as to the reason for the delay kickoff came actually on the day from Wickham's official Twitter account. So it is one of them ones where The reason why we mention that is because the high-tech GPS gizmo Liverpool used to ensure Gerald Suarez and co are fit enough for the new season. This is from back in July 25th, 2013. Pre-season used to provide an opportunity for players to re-engage with football away from too much physical scrutiny. Matches were low-key affairs where little notice will be taken of a sprint cut short, a lack of distance covered, or a heart rate remaining sedate. But those days are gone. Now, an omnipotent fitness system can measure all the data a coaching team desires and highlight those individuals who are not meeting targets. Steven Gerrard at the time lifted up his shirt during Liverpool's win over Melbourne Victory to reveal he was wearing a Stat Sports Viper unit, a GPS system that collects a multitude of statistics on speed, distance, heart rate, dynamic stress loads, accelerations and decelerations. It's a sophisticated piece of kit that has revolutionized how performances in pre-season are assessed and is also used throughout a campaign to tailor training schedules and pick up early on injuries. Premier League champions Man United, their neighbours Man City, as well as Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, Everton, West Ham, Norwich, Southampton, Sunderland, Swansea, Aston Villa, Cardiff and Crystal Palace all subscribed to the software, all but at the time 6 top flight teams. England's national side used the product along with Juve, Galatasaray and also Barcelona as well. It was developed with rugby in mind, but it's a case of obviously now it's football. Now taking the form of the Stat Sports system of a small ergonomic pod, the weight of just 2 AA batteries, the Viper fits on a player's back in a pouch supplied by the tight fitting vest. So there's that way around it. Each pod has a list of components, including 4 processors, a state-of-the-art GPS module, a 3D accelerometer, which determines direction as well as speed, a 3D gyroscope that locates balance and orientation, a 3D digital compass, a long-range radio, and heart rate receiver as well. Now, basically, various parameters are measured and calculated 100 times per second, meaning almost 250,000 numbers every minute can be analyzed from a team of 11 players. Data is also collected for storage and streamed live to coaching staff setting their laptops for up to 2 pitches away, vital if in-play changes need to be made. Now, the beauty of Viper's channeling mechanisms mean that such statistics are 99% accurate, even in a stadium of 90,000 people using phones and Wi-Fi gadgets, which can interfere with other similar systems. Now, it is a case of there was at the time a grey area over whether Vipers are allowed in competitive games due to FIFA rules, and the governing body is looking into, or were at the time, in terms of whether they needed to make a decision over usage and whether that needs to be made. But it is one of them ones where basically it has. There is a little more to this, because Friday, August 7th, 2015, from wearable.com. Picture the scene. World Cup final. It's the World Cup final, and it's gone to penalties. Rooney, all right, we can dream, but Rooney steps up to take the deciding kick, the weight of a nation on his shoulders. Seeing the expression on his face is one thing, but imagine seeing his heart rate escalate, the speed of his run-up, and how hard he strikes the ball in real time. Sounds like the kind of info you'd get playing FIFA 16, but it could well be the future of football. Unprecedented in the Premier League. For years now, football players have been wearing tracking devices in training so coaches can see who's in tip-top condition and who's been burning the candle at both ends. But so far, the devices haven't been allowed during competitive play. The only wearable that is permitted in the referees is the referee's watch that buzzes to let him know a goal has been scored. This means football has lagged behind other sports like rugby, Aussie rules, and American football, all of which use wearables to enhance the sport. The NFL actually announced last year, 2014, that it would be tracking players and sending the data on player speeds, runs, exertion, and fatigue exclusively to broadcasters for fans' enjoyment. So there's that end of it. But the level of in-game data is unprecedented in the Premier League, but it could be about to change. The International Football Association Board, IFAB, the body in charge of the laws of the game, has already discussed allowing the devices to be used during match play, obviously relating back to Plymouth this week. It could rule on it before last season, this current season is actually finished. It let women's team use wearables during the recent Algarve Cup, and as well as in training, Premier League teams currently use wearables in pre-season friendlies. But in terms of what it would mean for the game, Jim McKeaney, the head of marketing for Stat Sports, behind the Viper Pod, which we just mentioned, They said it brings fan engagement to the next level. You could launch in-stadium apps so fans can engage more with what's happening on the field and see each player's data. Clubs could develop their own apps for fans too. To be able to see Messi and say he's running at 9.3 meters per second compared to someone who's running only 8.7, it's the next level for fans. But it wouldn't just be a boon for fans. It could gamify the sport even more. We could see gaming companies taking interest in this information for a whole host of reasons, albeit rightly or wrongly. Said Chris Barnes, head of sports science at West Bromwich Albion and a member of the British Association for Sport and Exercise Sciences. So pretty soon you could be putting bets on how hard someone is working. This is purely me postulating, but it seems the way the gaming side of the business is going. So I've no reason to doubt that they will come on board the minute that we're able to broadcast quality data. Now that's an interesting one there. At the moment, stats are compiled by a combination of on-pitch sensors and video footage from companies like Opta and Prozone. Rather than being competitors, the different technologies could complement each other, providing more comprehensive stats. Now, it is one of them ones where the devices are so advanced they can be calibrated to each player and position. There's even one for the keeper. Catapult Optimi G5 was developed specifically for goalkeepers. It's used in over 400 sports organizations around the world. With the outfield players, we're interested in how far they go, how fast they go, how many sprints they perform, and the cardiovascular side of things. Whereas with goalkeepers, we're more interested in the number and magnitude of diving activities. What we've done is we've spent a bit of time looking at the data coming from the inertial sensors, and we've created fingerprints which identify these goalkeepers' physical reactions. So now we've got a unit which is bespoke and unique to their needs. That's the big leagues. What about at the grassroots level? Last summer, Adidas launched the My Coach smart ball, which gives you feedback on your kicks via an app on your smartphone. Experts think wearables and connected devices like this are becoming such an accepted part of people's lives, they could make football more appealing to youngsters. We're looking at a generation of young people more used to having multimedia platforms at their fingertips, said Dr. Andy Harlan, Director of Sports Technology Institute at Loughborough University. These kinds of devices bring football in line with what children are seeing in the rest of their lives. They're used to having every aspect of their lives linked into their smartphone. So if football isn't, maybe it becomes old hat. Now, Oculus Rift has come into this as well. Google Glass and Oculus Rift have immense potential for the sport. Man United's manager Louis van Gaal used both at the 2014 World Cup to let his Dutch players relive match situations from a different player's perspective, which is extremely interesting. Almost kind of virtual reality. We can't wait for the next day when we can switch between players' viewpoints at the touch of a button like a next generation player can. Obviously, that's going to all take a bit of time to come in, but it is one of them ones. I mean, imagine. Apparently, there's footage of Carlos Tevez wearing a GoPro, so it's one of them ones. Imagine that kind of stuff as well. But you know what? Coming right back, this kind of stuff, this wearable tech, is clearly the future of football. And if it's a little thing on someone's back, it's under their shirt, and obviously it's strapped tight as well, not uncomfortably tight, but it's strapped tight. So I would see it as Plymouth's manager moaning about it for safety reasons. No, I don't think there's much of a leg to stand on in terms of that, because obviously they would have had extensive testing, and also the fact that the football league have allowed it as well. So it sounds like Wickham are trying to get an advantage where no one else has done it yet. So more power to them. It's like when Watford were taking advantage of the loan system and they had 9 players from Udinese at once. This one then was they took advantage of a loophole, and then it was closed afterwards after people moaned about it because probably they didn't think about it first. So it's one of them ones. I can understand complaining about it on safety grounds, but it is on someone's back. It's a little bit of a bulge, yeah. But at the end of the day, who's gonna header your back? It's one of us. Oh, someone could hit their head on it. Who's gonna header your back? And if someone's actually pulling the wearable tech as well, then that essentially means that someone's pulling your shirt, and that's cheating anyway. So that would be where I would come from as an amateur league player. It'd be interesting to have it at grassroots level for the little one, especially for the youngers, because of the integration with technology and that. But I think that might be a bit much, yeah. That might be a bit much, yeah, but it is one of them ones where it would be an interesting thing for youngsters to go, hey, look how far I ran today. Oh, look how many touches of the ball I had today. It could potentially help coaches assess who's working hard and who isn't. So, I mean, you could have that club wide as well. So it's integrating technology and football, and having GPS trackers. And imagine let's say a player was prone to injury. Let's say, for argument's sake, a player had bad knees, and unbeknownst to anyone else, his running style isn't helping. Now, if you had a GPS tracker, on him, and if that running style was stopping him running as much as he could or working as hard as he could, then imagine a GPS tracker with a gyroscope in it, monitoring their proprioception, which is essentially balance. For those who have had physio before, you would have heard that word before. But imagine being able to monitor someone's proprioception and basically tailor a gym program to be able to help players adjust their running style, so it's easier on the knees, it's easier on the joints, it's easier on the lumbar region. Then in theory, that's a good thing, not only for clubs, but that's good for players' health as well. That's where I would come from as a player on this. Safety reasons, I don't know. I think that's a bit of a cheap excuse, because these things, as I said, these things are the size of 2 AA batteries. So they're actually very, very small. So it's one of them ones. I mean, with the kind of stat sport stuff that we see in pre-season, at first I thought it looked like players were wearing sports bras. But it's like, it's based on that kind of design, because ergonomically it fits better. But it's going to be, I think this kind of thing where you can track players is for the computer gaming industry, it can make that more immersive. For the betting industry, all right, fine, people could bet on how far someone's going to run, but everyone bets on almost everything anyway. How many cards, when someone's going to score, how many corners. So it's kind of just the next logical step, really. So there's a lot of potential in this, in my view. I mean, G-Man, Jezzy, what do you reckon before we throw this out? Because we've got Deryll David on the line as well, so it's going to be interesting to hear his views in a minute as well. But Gav, Jezzy, what do you reckon?
G-Man, do you want to go first, or do you want me to jump in first?
Yeah, I'll jump on first. I'll be quite short there. But just to go with your original argument, Liam, I can really understand why the manager in question basically questioned why the players were wearing, the wearable technology, and why he might have had concerns. Because at the end of the day, the only reason why there isn't any cause concerns at the moment is because no accidents have happened. And like, big sports, big money industries, no one's really concerned until a big incident happens, and then there's cause for concerns, and then they start looking into, precautions and procedures. So at the moment, yeah, it might work and be a just cause, but we just don't know how safe it is until an accident really does happen. But as for you're saying, going on into the actual technology itself and its uses, totally agree with you. It's definitely gonna open up new industries. And you named a few there with, especially me having worked in corals before. Great shout on the sort of stats predictions and betting on that. People do absolutely bet on anything. I remember when working, someone actually tried to bet on when Michael Jackson would die. That's
mate, allow it.
Mate, the people do say some ridiculous things, and you can actually find them in the system or ring up and try and quote these things. So,
well, people bet on professional wrestling, even though it's predetermined. I don't think you should be allowed to bet on something that's predetermined anyway, because you can get spoilers. But leaving that one.
But in terms of the technology, now, in terms of technology with the sporting and the games, the game sort of vibe, yeah, it works hand in hand. You know, games, simulations, as Jesse touched on it before with Football Manager, you know, Football Manager have basically been simulating this sort of thing already in terms of, you know, having these stats on screen, you know, where you're playing the match and you literally can see all the stats of your players, passes, dribbles, running, you know, that's been played out. So it's natural that it will go down the same route on live football TV, and even BT, you know, BT TV, you know, they do it themselves. They've got these stats live on screen. You can watch game and the stats are live there on the screen on the app. So it's quite ingenious, to be honest. You know, you're just watching the match, you can see, you know, shots taken, fouls, all those sort of things live there on your screen to the side of the game being played. But in terms of it dropping down into the lower leagues, this is where I just think technology like that's just wasted. You know, in the lower leagues, you know, if it is gonna, you know, if they are, I just feel money could be pushed into different directions if they are going to do anything for the lower leagues and market anything for the lower leagues in terms of helping and improving the game or you know, giving back to the game. I just think it's a bit wasted.
Yeah, there's bigger fish to fry at grassroots level. There are legitimately bigger fish to fry. And in terms of problems at grassroots level, stuff like facilities, this money would be better funded into that. But maybe that money, maybe the money generated from kind of developing these apps can be put back into that. Maybe. I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate with that.
Yeah. But yeah, generally, that's just the gist of my views on that. Like I said, I understand the concerns of the manager, but we just don't know until an accident happens.
Not true. I mean, Jazzy Fizzle, did you want to jump in as well?
Yeah, and I'll just piggyback on what the G-Man was saying, and I think, you know, in terms of safety and precautions, he's right in that at the moment, the reason why there's no real furore about it is, well, no one's been hurt. But does it actually have to take someone being hurt before we put in place some kind of precautionary and advisory measure? Now, in my opinion, it shouldn't have to take that long. You shouldn't have to wait for that point. It makes no sense, right? So, for me, if the league are going to allow the use of it, which they have done, then there has to be, you know, enough considerable testing under, you know, certain scenarios to make sure, for example, that if there is any sort of collision, that the player colliding with the player that's wearing the tech, if they aren't wearing tech, and even if they are, is it going to be susceptible to any sort of significant injury? You know, so all of that has to be considered. But in terms of the applications, I think there's two main ones for me personally. It's to do squad training. I personally wouldn't use it in games, but for squad training, that is absolutely huge in terms of monitoring players' performance. So currently, you know, similar tech is being used to monitor players' fitness levels. But then if, you know, you want to look at, say, for example, how a player is playing in a certain position, in terms of exertion, touches on the ball, distance covered, all those other things, I think that's very useful. So if you're trying to prove a point to say, for example, to an out-and-out number 9, you know, that's more of a fox in the box. But look, we don't need you to run around so much. You just need to stay between here and here. If you stay here and you move in this particular fashion to go here, 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 and here, within this area, this is where you're going to get your goals from, right? And the reason why we can prove that to you is when we look at 2 weeks ago in training, when we asked you to do that, you scored this many goals from this many touches, from this position, this position, this position. So that's absolutely huge in terms of having a explanatory piece of information to explain to players why it's important to play a role in a particular way, for example. So I think that could be one of the uses in terms of training, and that's even more useful for young players who, as we say, are used to looking at statistics and how those statistics are interpreted in terms of representation of how the player's role should be fulfilled in, for example, Football Manager, FIFA, Pro Evolution Soccer, so on and so forth, right? But in terms of gaming and betting, I think that's absolutely huge in terms of the implications of that. I think a couple of years ago, FIFA had a mode called Adidas Live Season, I don't know if they have it anymore. I think it may have been removed. But basically, with that game mode, you were able to go back and play the week's fixtures from a certain division.
Yeah.
So I think it was like all of the top divisions across Europe. So with that now, and the statistical technology, and having all the stats, you can faithfully recreate those games. So in the games that you don't play and try to change the result, they are recreated exactly as they were because they have the statistics to back it up.
Yeah. But then I said that makes gaming more immersive, even more so.
That's what I mean. And then of course, if you were playing to change that result, right? The team that you're actually coming up against now is a proper representation of the team that played.
Yeah.
So you now have to do something totally different to what actually happened, because that's going to be the only way to beat this team. Right? And if you're not cottoned on to what they were doing in the actual game, if you're going to go and play the recreation of it, you're likely to get beaten even worse by the same team. If that makes sense in terms of how they'll go and implement them. But in terms of betting, I think it's huge. One other area where it kind of crosses over between betting and gaming is fantasy football.
Yeah.
I think the implications of something like that is absolutely huge, especially in terms of live updates of your players. And if they add certain elements to the scoring, so for example, if they happen to cover over a certain amount of distance, this is however many percent of a point, so on and so forth. If they record so many touches, it's this many percent of a point, so on and so forth. So that kind of information adds even more to that. And as I say, the live real-time updates, which the NFL do for fantasy football, in terms of touchdowns, yards received, yards gaining ground, yards after the catch, yards after contact, passing yards, defensive plays in terms of balls swatted up the air, interceptions, run stuffs, so on and so forth. All of those kind of statistics are included in terms of if you want to know how well a particular player is doing or a particular unit in the basic defense. So I think the potential to add to that and go into even more detail, but obviously related to football, is huge. And then, of course, for each of those individual factors, again, if you want to open up betting markets, and I'm sure they would want to, and I'm sure people would want to bet on those things, that's something else to then add to that in terms of potential revenue and in their expansion for that information.
Yeah. I mean, see, that's it. I mean, that's an interesting, because at the end of the day, I said, like I said, there are other sports already using it, and this is the thing where football has been slow to adopt technology, but certain types of technology could actually improve the game because they're getting more information. This is not affecting, basically, for me personally, this is not affecting how the game is played in terms of breaking it up and like having video tech for offsides and all that kind of crap. It's not affecting the pureness of the game. It's just helping teams get more data on their players to get the best out of their players to improve the game. That's where I would see it. I mean, Mike Harniman has mentioned before we asked Deryll David his opinion, because that's a very interesting one from a referee's perspective. Mike Harniman, I'd like you, what you read out in the Skype, what you put in the Skype chat was actually very interesting. Would you like to read that out?
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, basically, I think it's definitely going to come in handy in certain situations for players that have some kind of underlying issue as well that they might not necessarily know about. Obviously, there was the likes of Mitchell Cole, who passed away, Fabrice Mirambo, who had the problems as well, and you know the Bakatembi Gomez as well, that kind of situation. And you know the likes of Michael Timlin and Dembele, who had the big head clash in the playoff game between Stevenage and Southend last year as well. So you know, to actually look at it on that perspective, it will get kind of medical teams and medical people on the scene a lot quicker, hopefully.
No, that's definitely. I mean, that's one of them ones where that is actually a very, very interesting point. That is actually, I like that as a point, because it is a case of if you concede, if you could imagine, picture this scenario. Picture this scenario. It'd be a case of, imagine someone Imagine someone's ducking along the football pitch. So let's say Baffotembi Gomis, and his heart rate starts dropping, and it starts dropping drastically. You can instantly say, referee. You can legitimately get the referee to stop the game and say, this guy's heart rate has dropped dangerously. If it drops below a certain amount of beats per minute, you could literally flag down the ref and be like, right, his heart rate has dropped down very, very drastically. So we need to do something. We need to do something about this. So it's one of them ones. That early kind of thing could save someone's life potentially. But I mean, you know what? Just want to ask, Deryll David, are you with us tonight?
I am.
Yeah. Welcome once again to PT Live. And you know what? It is a case of, want to ask your opinion on this issue about wearable tech. What is your view on what happened with Plymouth and Wickham, and also about wearable tech in general? Are you a fan of it, being that you're a referee?
Okay, as a referee, many referees use the technology as it is now. Like, you know, these sorts of running things and stuff to track their sort of movements on the pitch. A lot of referees do that. I've been out with many referees this season and last season who use GPR rest trackers and all of that to track where they move on the pitch. And do you know what? It helps them a lot because they realise, right, okay, this is the patrol path that I've got to use. I'm not doing that as of now. How can I improve it? And it notes everything that you'd want to know as a referee, and I think that's important. For players, I think it's important to find the right balance on where to, what to use, how they're going to use it, and ECT. I don't think it's great to sort of have this other bit of a GPRS tracker tracking, like, you know, how far they're under this, that, because you can do that already. I mean, it's not as if you know, when Sky Sports and BT Sports and, you know, Match of the Day, they go, oh, he ran like, you know, 15 kilometers today, this and that and that. You know, it can already be seen. So I think it's important to find a thing. But definitely the health thing that you were talking about just now, that's a big one. I think that should be implemented. But I mean, referees already use it as it is, and I think the manager's just going a bit over the top. Maybe he's a bit frustrated that his team don't have it, and he feels that that they should have it rather than just only one team. But I think really they should implement it all over the leagues, because it will engage a lot of fans, players, and this and that. But I do think it's something that it's already happening, especially in the refereeing world. It's already happening, so it could just be drafted into the footballing world.
You know, I think that's actually a very interesting opinion on it, and like it's interesting that you kind of got two sides of it, from the referee side as a person as well. It's like, I mean, I said I think it could really benefit the game, but it's one of them ones. It is a case of, it would obviously, technology, with any technology, you need to do it in moderation, and that would be the interesting thing. Can you do it in moderation? So I very much am. I am a fan. I actually am a fan of the whole wearable tech thing personally. As a player, I think as a player it would be interesting to know how far you've ran and basically what impact you've had. Basically what impact you've had on the game. I mean, have you covered as much ground? Have you stayed on your feet most of the time? Because sometimes you get such tunnel vision on the game, and I think coaches will be able to kind of really use it and be like, right, and we'll be like, right, cool, this player is a bit wasted here, let me try him in this position and see if that works, better for him, in terms of, because he likes to make these kinds of runs. So if you've got a winger that keeps dropping inside, and it's kind of like, you could balance it out. I don't know. I just think it's a very interesting thing. But wearable tech, I definitely think, is the future of football. I definitely think.
Just a question on that though, Lee.
Yeah.
Not for the natural lazier players like the Dima to Berbatov, yeah. and players of that caliber who, you know, they coast around the pitch. The impact isn't as how would you say courageous as some other players, like the Messis are foregone runners where they're just running up and down like madmen, and you know, not even looking like they're breaking a sweat. But on those sort of players, wouldn't that be an endangerment? Wouldn't that be an endangerment to their game? Wouldn't that be an endangerment? Like, for instance, football's a psychological game, and it's also about results.
Yeah.
If I'm a manager and I've started to hook myself into this technology, and then all I'm concerned about is how fit my players are and how they're moving across the pitch and how much energy and activity they're giving into the game. Whereas I don't really take myself out of that and look at, you know, what they actually provide to the team. And some of those sort of laser players, or the ones that don't look as energetic, you know, they do their thing.
Yeah.
You know,
but I think it's one of them ones where with the amount of information and the amount of tech,
it's like that.
But I mean, I think with the amount of information, the amount of tech, what it would do is it would help managers potentially accommodate that kind of player better. If that player is naturally gifted enough that they don't have to do much, then you might be able to work around that person a little bit better. Let's say having a centre midfield with, say, Jordan Henderson and Philippe Coutinho. Like, Coutinho, you know, is going to be the creative spark, but Henderson is going to be the worker and the runner. So it helps you it would help you accommodate better those players. Potentially, I'm devil's
also blind you as a manager. Because like, you're just effectively relying on stats to tell you on a forthcoming game. Yeah, so you're using last week's stats to try and predict what's going to happen in tomorrow's game. Whereas, really and truthfully, isn't it more? You're meant to be more of an instinctive. A manager's meant to be more instinctive and have that feeling and know that, you know, the team that they're putting out, instinctively rather than statistically, is the right team.
In theory, in theory, I agree with you. But then in practice, you've got everyone else using the data anyway to get the most out of their players. So if everyone else is using this data and these statistics to get the best out of their players, why not jump on? I mean, it for me, it would be basically, it wouldn't be a hindrance, it would be a help. Yeah. That would be where I would look at it. That would be where I would look at it. So, yeah.
But just to piggyback on something that G-Man was saying, and I know I'll keep it short because we have to move on to other points and other topics and so on and so forth, right? But in terms of what you're saying about the players that may not necessarily exert themselves as much, right? Using that in comparison to, as you say, a player who, you know, may run up and down like an absolute madman, right? Just because they don't, what this doesn't factor in for me in terms of the raw data is the economy of movement, right? So sometimes you don't necessarily have to be herring all over the pitch to be effective, right? So what's one of the major criticisms of Wayne Rooney? That he likes to run around a little bit too much, and that sometimes if he actually stuck to certain areas of the pitch and tried to do a job there, he would be far more effective in the role that he's playing. Yeah. Right? So if you have a player, as you say, when you pointed out, like Dimitar Berbatov, listen, the thing that was so good about Dimitar Berbatov, firstly, he doesn't actually look like he's trying that hard, right? But when you look at what he does with the ball and his that's why he has the goal scoring record that he's had, not just in Germany, not in France, but also in England as well.
You got to remember, say, with this technology though, like I said, there's a goalkeeper's one as well, so you can tailor it to positions. Yeah, and that's one of the obviously main things that coaches are going to rely on, that you can tailor it to different positions and say, right, I want this person to hit this target today. Let's see how close they get to the target. If they don't get to the targets, then you know you've got so much data, you know how to get them to that to help them become better. at what they're doing. That would be my perspective on it. That would be my perspective.
And I think that use of it, that's what I was saying. For me, not so much during live games, but training, and especially the training of young players, the implications for the use of this technology, absolutely huge. Absolutely huge.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how much wearable tech gets implemented into the game. It is actually going to be interesting to see how it gets implemented. But I'm one of them ones where I just can't wait. I just actually can't wait to get it to get it in and see how it works. That is one of them. But you know what? Yeah, it is one of them. Well, speaking of big things on the way and big beginnings, well, there was a beginning this week. So let's go into Grassroots segment. Yeah, hitting the home run. Sorry, the home straight of the show. It's Monday night. We are live on Pitch Talk, your Monday night footballing fix. Let's go into some grassroots football. Yeah. Anyway, Curveball Rattle on the strike one. Yeah. But grassroots segment. First shout out we always give is to the Southern Amateur League at 14 SAL, 14 the word, SAL on Twitter and www.southernamateurleague.co.uk. Also, the Amateur FA, the AFA at Amateur FA on Twitter and www.amateur-fa.com as well. Big shout outs also to the Amateur Football Youth Council as well at AFA Youth Council on Twitter and also facebook.com/AFA Youth Council as well. Give them a follow, give them as much support as you can. We've actually got their chairman, aka chairperson, Mr. Deryll David, on the Skype call with us, who is also a referee at grassroots level as well. So big time shout outs to Mr. Deryll David and the Amateur FA Youth Council, also the Amateur FA and the 14 Southern Amateur League. Now, the Ibis Eagles AFC, it's begun. It has begun this past Saturday, September 12th, 2015. I mean, I cannot tell you how proud I was to be a part of the beginning of a new era. And yes, we actually did do some filming down at Pillars Sports Ground as well, our new home, the Ibis Eagles' new home after the merger with Ibis FC and BB Eagles. The results, training, I'll go into that first. Training every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. down at Battersea Park, all-weather AstroTurf. Right next to the Children's Adventure Playground, right next to there. Matches are on Saturdays. We now have 6 teams. The Ibis Eagles, 6 teams strong. Got quite a few in action this week, but this week we had 5 of our sides in action, 5 of the 6. It was as I said, we had the reserves who kicked off first, and they had a 4-4 draw against St. James's Old Boys. So big shout outs to them. They were 3-1 up at one point, 1-0 up at halftime, 3-1 up at one point, and oh my word, the first goal of the new Ibis Eagles era was scored by Mr. Phil Obi. In the Ibis Eagles AFC Facebook group, I actually just caught the goal. So there is actually a video record of the first goal of the Ibis AFC Eagles, the Ibis Eagles AFC era. So that is one of the ones I'm happy with that. But it is one of them ones where it was, the Ibis 2s, aka the reserves, 4 St. James's Old Boys 4. The Ibis Eagles 1s were beaten 4-1 by Old Salesians. The Ibis Eagles 3s were beaten 1-0. It's down as Crouch and Vampires, but it was actually Old Garchonians that the 3s played. Because I know that because I played in the match. But yeah, HSBC lost 3-1 to the Ibis Eagles 4s, and Bank of England beat the Ibis Eagles 5s 5-1. Saturday 19th of September, Ibis Eagles 1s host Old East Tamians. Broomfield Reserves host the Ibis Eagles Reserves. The 3s have no game. Aline Old Boys 4s host the Ibis Eagles 4s. Merton 5s host the Ibis Eagles 5s. And the Ibis Eagles 6th at home are against the Civil Service 8s in the ISEH Junior Novets Cups. That is a local rivalry right there. It's one of them was literally, they are the other side of the fence. So it's very, very interesting. But from the Southern Amateur League website, Ibis Eagles, a new club is hatched. Ibis Eagles Football Club becomes the latest name on the list of SAL clubs following a 3-season merger between Ibis and BB Eagles. The club will play at the BB Eagles grounds at Riverside Drive Sports Club and GSK Sports Ground in Hounslow. Both clubs have a long history with the league dating back to the 1920s and share a financial heritage. Ibis was originally the sports club of the Prudential Insurance Company, while BB Eagles was formerly the Barclays Bank Sport Club. Both have faced an uphill task to keep playing following the split with their respective parent companies, but the new club is hopeful that a joint effort will bring them success in their quest to grow the club locally, not to mention bring home silverware. We wish them all the very best for the future. And that's from the Southern Amateur League website. Oh, mate, it's one of them ones, man. I said part of history, and I couldn't be happier. Those who have me on Facebook will see that, of course, I'm a Liverpool supporter and I've got passion for that. But these days, especially over the last 5 years with co-hosting pitch talk shows, sitting down with inspirational people such as Samir Sawney of Motivate Sports and Fitness, Manisha Taylor, also Mr. Deryll David more recently as well. It's gotten, and also having discussions, especially about grassroots football, with the BB Eagles chairman, Mr. Jonathan Lees. It's a case of I mean playing, and we did an interview with Alex Minchell last week as well, who is the assistant chairman or vice chairman of Ibis FC, and when he said, yeah, you know what, there is, I mean, it's one of them ones. It's playing first, watching a very distant second, and I echo those sentiments 100%. It is one of them ones. There's just nothing like playing. Watching is all good, and there's a passion there, but when you're actually putting in those tackles on a Saturday afternoon, the headers, the tackles, the volleys, it's just fantastic. And the camaraderie as well is one of the most important things at grassroots level, at amateur league level, because we're not getting paid to play, we're paying to play. So you've got to enjoy it. And I got to say, I enjoy it immensely. And as I said, I'm proud to be a part of this new era. Big shout outs to Ollie Woodham. Big shout outs to Jack Lloyd as well, Jonathan Lees, Alex Minchell, and everyone else making stuff possible. I mean, Pete Goodman as well definitely deserves a shout out. It's one of them ones, man. I mean, it's such a chance. It's such a great chance for a new beginning. The new clubhouse is absolutely lovely. And yeah, it's one big shout outs to Warren and everyone behind the bar as well. When I was filming, it was a case of Warren was just like, yeah, come in, film whatever you want. You've got free reign. And I was like, I appreciated that. So I mean, it's one of them ones, man. A new beginning is coming. I mean, Gav, are we gonna get you? We're gonna get you playing for the Ibis Eagles as well. That's one that was during this new begin.
Well, I'm down at training. Obviously, like I was a bit like last season, where I've obviously got access to games on a Saturday to the Arsenal game. So it's about picking and choosing those games as well. But yeah, I tried to get down as much as possible. Plus, I do go and watch my little brother play from time to time as well in his big matches. So it's just juggling basically.
Yeah. I hear.
I'm down in the mix at training. I love the training. I've got to say, I went training last week, and you know what I said, Liam. You know when you first took me to Ibis, I can't remember. I think it was in 2007. Was it?
I think it probably was. Yeah.
It was in 2007 where you had the older chaps there, and you know training there was like 30 to 35 people there. Time, and I remember there was one season when I joined you where you know they were turning people away because they had too many players turn up. Well, training was pretty much like this last week. Like there were, you know, we play on half the court, half of the hockey court, and you know it was ram jam with players. Like you've seen the picture, but also like you know when we did get to our final match, you know the last 10-20 minutes, you know you barely had nowhere to run. You get me? So it just shows you the difference a season makes and the right combinations of two teams joining together, because you did have the merger of the other club. What was it last season? Season before?
Oh, the old Latimarians thing. Yeah.
Old Latimarians. That didn't quite go as well.
So we're learning from it. We're definitely learning from it. So.
Well, it takes two to tango. It's not just one club putting their all in.
Of course. I mean,
you know, BB Eagles definitely look like an outfit where well suited to Ibis.
No, definitely. I mean, there's been no opposition from anyone about the merger, and that's been one of the important things, that everybody is on board. Everyone is pulling towards the same goal. I mean, Deryll, David, you wanted to jump in? Did you want to jump in on this?
I firstly I wanted to say, obviously, I haven't said anything really about the merger to you personally, but I have spoken to Jonathan Leese about it. Last time I saw him, I think it was about a couple of weeks ago. So you know, I mean, us as sort of external people, I mean, obviously I referee on the league, and I know quite a lot of the league officers and so forth. We're all very happy that another football club is continuing, rather than just being sort of sidelined out. I mean, men's adult football as it is adult male football as it is on a huge downer within the country. So it's very good to see two teams working for the best outcome. So that's really good. Just that it caught me while I was listening was said something about watching. I was down at Old Finchleyans on Saturday because I didn't actually have a game, and I was watching the referee there. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Taff from Old Finchleyans. He's 84, and he was watching the game, the first team, which was Old Finchleyans versus Crouch End, the Senior 2. And unfortunately, a tackle came across, which caught Taff as he was standing on the side of the pitch. And obviously, being 84, he's taken a huge knock and is currently in hospital. So I wanted to just give him a huge shout out, and I hope he gets better.
Yeah, definitely. Get well.
Yeah,
soon,
wishes
Taff.
of a speedy recovery to Taff.
Yeah.
Taff, our thoughts and our prayers are with you. Get well soon.
Definitely. Could not echo those sentiments anymore.
Oh, and we'll bring you some orange juice and some grapes. Right?
There we go.
They're on their way.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of shout-outs, actually, and new beginnings, Hackney Wick FC. Back on July 11th, and this is immortalized in Pitch Talk on the Road at Hackney Wick FC. Back on July 11th, we saw their first ever match. We were down there to catch footage of their first ever women's and men's match on the same day down at Mabley Green. Now, their first ever league match is actually a very significant one. Now, www.hackneywickfc.com is their official website. If you go to the contacts page on there, there is info on playing. At Hackney Wick FC on Twitter, and facebook.com/Hackney Wick FC as well. And a big shout out to Daniel Magnar and Tom Sparks as well, of Two Men in Search of the Beautiful Game on Facebook, and at Beautiful Game 15 on Twitter. They also do a blog as well. Hackney Wick's first ever home league match, September 19th, 3 p.m. kickoff, Mabley Green AstroTurf pitch, Lee Conservancy Road, E9 5QB. Entrance is free, and there will also be a junk sale with all items being £1. Now, the significance of this match is not only the fact that it's their first ever league home match for Hackney Wick FC, but Hackney Wick FC versus Stonewall FC. Hackney Wick Football Club play their first league match at home against Stonewall FC, who are also Britain's first gay football club. The match kicks off at 3 p.m. and it's free entrance for all over at Mabley Green AstroTurf pitch, Lee Conservancy Road, E9 5QB. We hope all the Wickers fans and their children can attend this epic day for our club. We will be also holding a junkyard sale, where every single item will be sold for £1, where 50% of sales will go to Hackney Giving, which is a local charity. So get there early to get the best bargains. Spread the word. Our borough, our club. I said, for more information about that, at Hackney Wick FC on Twitter, and also www.hackneywickfc.com as well, and also facebook.com/Hackney Wick FC. You know what? Very, very significant opening match for Hackney Wick FC. So you know what? We really, really wanted to give that a mention and give that a shout out as well. It is one of them ones. But you know what? Yeah. Another team that we wanted to give a shout out to as well is Leeds Ladies FC. Contact details: Gary, their chairman is Gary Cooper. Their website is www.leedsladiesfc.co.uk. They're on Instagram as well, Leeds Ladies FC on Instagram, and at Leeds Ladies FC on Twitter. And they're on Facebook, facebook.com/Leeds United Ladies. Now, their first team, the first team of Leeds Ladies, actually beat Morecambe for 2. Emma Bentley scored 2, including the penalty. Rachel Ackroyd and Zoe Doherty also scored as well. Morecambe's 2, I think, came in the first half as well. The attendance was 107. So one of them was the development squad. Leeds Ladies 5, Middlesbrough 0. Demi Pringle got 2 goals. Cara Mahoney scored, and Danielle Walker and Eleanor Reagan scored as well. The under-16s, Leeds Ladies 11, Wigton Moor 0. Chloe Cooper got 2 goals. Jessica Tate got 4. Monica Stoop got 2. Tippis Harrison scored as well. Chloe Bethel, and there was an own goal as well. You know what? Yeah, Russ Vernon, you wanted to give a shout out to a few people from Leeds United Ladies FC, didn't you?
Yes, I did, Liam. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, do you want to give those shout outs before we wrap up?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the chairman, Gary Cooper, who said we could mention them on the show. Also to their under-16s manager and head of youth, Lee Townend, the under-16 squad, and Brenner, aka Brendan Deverque, who will be sending me to send on to you guys the match reports from next week. Lee Townend and the under-16 squad, they're all listening tonight, and I messaged them a few moments ago, Liam, and they said a very good show, well done to you all tonight, and I think they're going to continue listening to the show as well. So they said, great show. And Gary Cooper said to me to tell you all, thanks for giving him a mention on the show from this week onwards. So I spoke to him on the phone earlier on, Liam, this afternoon. When I go home from college. So every week, instead of Parkgate, I'll be sending you the Leeds Ladies updates when I get them through, Liam.
Nah, all good. And thank you for the hookup, Holly, if you hear me. Well, WR there, but fantastic stuff as well. In terms of ladies football, as I said, big shout outs earlier, as we said earlier in the show, big shout outs to Girls on the Ball, at Girls on the Ball on Twitter, www.girlsontheball.com, and facebook.com/Girls on the Ball. Girls on the Ball, we've done a Pitch Talk meets, sit down interview with them, so that's on youtube.com/Pitch Talk, and also they feature on
Pitch Talk at the Women's FA Cup Final 2015 as well, that Jezzy Fizzle co-hosted. So all good, all good. By the way, Stevenage ladies were in action as well. The first were 2-0 winners against Ackley ladies, and the reserves drew 3-3 away to Offley. Mike Harniman, you've got a couple of shout outs to give in terms of Stevenage ladies, haven't you?
Yeah, just a couple of the players. One being Cara Breckenridge, who is the girl that I said a couple of weeks back, who's not long back from a serious injury, and she's back playing again. You know, and playing regularly now, which is really good. And also to Chloe Roos as well, who's scoring for fun for the reserves, and she scored a couple again at the weekend as well.
Nah, good stuff. Good stuff. It's one of them most big shout outs to everybody. Also, look at Tom Wood. I love that. Yeah, Tom Wood was actually a kind of guest host on in the same way Jamie Bailey was for the for Pitch Talk at the Men's FA Cup Final 2015. Tom Wood ended up doubling up and doing that job as well. So did it very well, to be perfectly frank. Him and Martin Levitt is one of them. Did it very well. So it was good stuff. It was actually a very, very fun day. Pitch Talk at the Women's FA Cup Final. So check out that video on YouTube as well. But you know what? It is about that time. And yeah, big shout out to Dave Potter as well. It's one of them. It is about that time. We're going to have to forego stuff of the week this week because of time, but it is one of them. We just want to give a quick shout out to IPW_info at IPW_info. Big time shout outs. We asked, we put out a question. Chelsea currently 11 points off the lead, 17th in the table. Will need historically epic performance from here on in. History suggests Chelsea can't win the Premier League this year. After 5 games, no eventual champ has had less than 8 points, been 5+ points behind the leaders, and that was basically to do with our question: if Chelsea lose against Arsenal this coming weekend, are their title winning aspirations practically over? So big shout outs to at IPW_info, which is IPW Limited, a collaborative venture bringing together key partners in sport, leisure and entertainment sectors with a focus on delivering successful venues. Fantastic stuff. Big shout out to Tristan Popel as well. You know what? It is one of them ones where it's time for us to vacate the place with a haste. So we must say...
Hi, I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Russ. My name is Christian 42.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
I'm Rob Lusher, former chairman of Ibis FC. I'm Samir Swanee, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting LJ, the G-Man and Jesse Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
Cue dramatic pauses there. I love that.
Yes, we tell.
Oh,
and we pose.
God, I love it. But you know what? It is one of them ones where www.pitch-talk.com is the official website. Find out about everything pitch talk related and football related and what we're doing there. www.pitch-talk.com. Also at Pitch Talk on Twitter. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we are up to.
Facebook.com/Pitch Talk. Become a fan, become a friend, become a member of the group. Join the footballing revolution. We are working so hard to create. Pitchtalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk will get you to the blogs. Blogs by yours truly, Straight Shooting LJ, the G-Man, Jezzy Fizzle, and many others. Many others as well. Also, youtube.com/Pitch Talk for all of our latest videos such as Pitch Talk on the road at Hackney Wick FC, also Pitch Talk at the Women's FA Cup Final 2015 sponsored by SSE. It's one of them ones. Also 07535804466 is the mobile number. Call us, text us, let us know your views. If you're texting in, leave your name at the end of the text so we can give you a shout out. Also, we're Pitch Talk Live on Google Plus. We're Pitch Talk 1 on Skype as well. It is one of them ones where also, I said at the beginning of the show, we do need your support. We podcast on iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, Spreaker, and TuneIn Radio as well. We need you guys to be spreading those links. Spread those links around like free love was spread in the 60s and 70s. It's one of them was we need those links spread around. It's one of them was give us a rating, give us a subscribe, give us a like, give us some opinions, everything. It all helps us build the show, make it bigger, and make it better as well. Big time shout outs to the Leeds United ladies, big shout outs to Stevenage ladies, big shout outs to Hackney Wick FC, big shout outs to Beautiful Game 15 on Twitter, big shout outs to our Skypers, to Mr. Deryll David, the chairman of the Amateur Football Alliance's Youth Council at AFA Youth Council on Twitter, Facebook.com/AFA Youth Council as well. It is one of them. Was also big shout outs to the Amateur Football Alliance at Amateur FA on Twitter and www.amateur-fa.com. Also big shout outs to the 14 Southern Amateur League at 14SAL on Twitter and www.southernamateurleague.co.uk. Big shout outs to them. Big shout outs to Ibis FC and BB Eagles, who are now the Ibis Eagles. Ibis Eagles AFC. Big time shout outs to Ollie Wooding, Alex Minchell, Jack Lloyd, Pete Goodman, Jonathan Lees, Dan Bracken, and many others who are helping run the Ibis Eagles AFC. Big time shout outs to everyone helping. Big shouts to the Skypers, Gianluca Leah, Mr. Russ Vernon, Ryan Sonley, Mike Harniman, Mr. Brad Hicks. Also, big time shout outs to everyone tuned in as well. Catch us on those social networks, peeps. We are not hard to find. I have been Straight Shooting LJA.
And I've been the G-Man.
And I'm gonna make you wait. And I'm gonna make you wait. Yeah, because I've been Jesse Fizzle.
I'm gonna make you wait. Why? Because I'm Jesse Fizzle. And that's what I do. I do's it like that. I got it like that. Oh my word. Big time shout outs to everyone.
Yep, I'm gonna make it do what it do.
I'm always gonna go JB Smooth on that. This is how I do's it. Anyway, but it is one of them was big time shout outs to everyone who's tuned in, everyone spreading the podcast, and many other people as well. From myself, Straight Shooting LJ, the G-Man, and Jazzy Fizzle, we'd like to say thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night.